You know what's confusing?
Tell me.
Tyler, the creator's old tweets.
Damn.
I've been knew it was weird.
You know what's even more confusing?
What is it?
The 2025 Denver Broncos offense.
They're weird too.
Speaking of weird, we are here today, as you see by the title, to talk about the single most confusing team in every single NFL division. We're going to talk about teams we either don't understand because they're different from our expectations. We don't understand because we don't understand how they can sustain this. We don't understand because we don't know how it'll translate to playoffs. Whatever confusing means to us for individual circumstances, one team for every single NFL division.
And we're going through Bo Nix's old tweets too.
Oh my God. Cue the intro music. Speaking of Mr. Bobert Nix, I think we start with the Denver Broncos as, to me, clearly the most confusing team in the AFC West, right?
100%. I mean, honestly, they might be the most confusing team in the AFC in general.
In the NFL, honestly. Mm-hmm. And they're at least the most confusing team for this
week.
In the
world, just sports franchise.
For this week, at least, we can get the title for the single most confusing team. And that's because they did something that literally nobody has ever done. They scored 33 fourth quarter points and mounted a comeback over the New York Giants. They stopped the Jackson Dart heat wave that would have took over sports media. Frat boys would have been up to a degree that had never been up before. And they stopped that because the Broncos locked the fuck in after having a completely atrocious offense for 3 quarters, confirming all of our priors we've had for weeks now that this offense is not operating on a level, at least to the which of a real contender that we thought they maybe could sneak into after they made the defensive acquisitions they made this summer. And the fourth quarter came around, and they turned it around, had a heap of points coming in all at once. How are we feeling about this team right now, post week 7?
I feel the exact same.
Yep.
Like shout out to them. And like in the macro sense, if you want to say that this gives you more trust that they can like turn things around or be a competent team and win playoff games, cool. Because every once in a while, like you do just have to win a game in the weirdest way. And I want to give them as much credit because, in my opinion, like, obviously, they should have lost that game by 1, just being down as bad as they were. But also, if Jackson Dart doesn't make one of like the worst reads that you can make and just take care of the ball and the play calling is a little bit more just regular, then Denver probably loses that game. But you take advantage of the opportunities that were given to you, and they scored whenever they needed to. They called the right plays whenever they needed to. And for what it's worth, Bo Nix had 30-something seconds at the end of the game, walked them down, got the Broncos into field goal range. He made the throw, had a deep throw over the middle. Like, he did the things that you want him to do, but it was only for 8 minutes. And I can't ignore the other 52 minutes when it's like, damn, same thing that we saw last week against the Jets. Like, it's tough.
Yeah. This is the type of game that is so extreme, right? We've never seen a game more extreme in terms of one team leading for 3 quarters, 19-0 in the first quarter, complete domination. And then the most absurd 33-point comeback we've ever seen in the fourth quarter mathematically, right? So there's literally never been a more extreme game that I can think of. And yet I have almost no takeaways.
Dude.
Isn't that weird?
No takeaways.
It's so weird. I feel coming into this offseason or this regular season, of course, I'm going through my like first year of NFL fandom, free agency, and my last year, obviously, too. And you guys could probably sniff it out a little bit that the Broncos fans have been like, they've been kind of getting one on me, telling me about this and that when it comes to their defense. I've been hearing so much about Pat Surtain, of course. Their, I guess at the time, glorious king in Bo Nix. And I was over here watching a little bit of Bo Nix tape. Found out that he had like a spinal injury over the course of the middle-ish of the year last season. I'm like, yo, this dude's a rookie. Okay, he's a little bit older, a little bit of an older rookie. And then time goes on, conversation advance, and I hear about certain training wheels that's put on him as to why. And when it comes to those training wheels, he basically seems like not a handicapped quarterback, but someone who's like limited very much in certain ways that doesn't lead you to believe he can be a top 10 quarterback. Throughout the first 3 quarters of this game, I understood exactly why, and it kind of like led me to my not stamping point of who he is as a player, because he's still youngish or whatever, but not inspiring at all.
Yeah.
Not inspiring at all.
And then the fourth quarter happens, and you're like, wait a minute, what do I think now? So I think multiple things are true. Broncos fans should feel very good about this game to some extent. They won. They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, so that's always good. You're standing in first place in your division. You should be happy. You got it done. Your defense came through when it needed. Shout out Stranad for getting that pick that really let it all happen, made the comeback happen. And your offense got clicking when it mattered most, right? But if you're looking at them holistically and talking about why we're confused about this team, because the offense has been so lackluster as of late, they're relying on a run game that has been solid. You know, J.K. Dobbins had good moments. He's pretty good in the open field, can make a guy miss. But if he gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, you know, the juice isn't there to break out big plays. It's been a good, not great running game and a passing game that's been goddamn terrible. Too many screens, too much reliance on dink and dunk because they don't believe in Bo Nix to push the ball down the field for whatever reason. It's been a weird combination of lack of belief in the quarterback, lack of success downfield, all the stuff that's led us feeling like they're not quite close to their ceiling, right? That's all true still because those first 3 quarters. You can't exactly wipe that away when you saw that for such an extreme amount of the game after so many weeks of seeing that. But I think the fourth quarter is encouraging. If you're to believe that momentum is a thing and we can carry forward our new performances into next week's, that fourth quarter was like the picture perfect example of what the Denver Broncos offense wants to do. You mentioned a few big plays Bo Nix threw down the sideline. There was one notable one towards the end of the game where he threw a back shoulder, not really back shoulder, like front shoulder go ball to Marvin Mims, who came back to it. You can call it under throw. You can call it good ball placement, and Mims came back to it. I don't know. That was a good throw, right? There's a couple of those along the sidelines. This whole fourth quarter comeback was straight short area plays and run after the catch, which is exactly what Sean Payton wants to do. Wants to empower those receivers to make plays in the open field, and they did that. They cooked those linebackers and second unit defenders on the Giants. And
I think, especially for Bo, in the comeback and then just also in the grand scheme of things, the big play for me, it was the dig, and then also it's the touchdown run where we're gonna get, like, obviously in the passing game they like to get Bo they like to get Bo Nix on the move.
Yeah,
using him as a like legitimate runner and getting him out on the edge, allowing him to use his legs to create plays. That's gonna be key for them to actually probably have an even more dynamic running game, offense, and really, really use all of his strengths. But right now, like I feel very confused because like this defense, it is good and you know like what they can do. But I also feel like we're gonna get to week 13. They're gonna have like, I don't know. Well, okay. They're gonna be at the top of the conference, right? Firmly in the playoff picture, all that. And I can see a situation where I look at them and I'm like, yeah, they're the frauds of this year. Like they're the team that has the good record, but they're going to be a first round exit because, like, one, you allowed yourself at home to be in this position. Last week, I understand you were overseas. You beat the Jets by 2 points and scored 13. The week prior, like the Eagles gave that game away in the fourth quarter. They were up 2 scores. So like you're constantly in situations where you are either down double digits or you are playing to the level of your competition. And I have not seen a dominant game outside of like the Bengals one, which is you're playing Jake Browning. And even that game, it's like, you did what you had to do 100%. The Bengals were never going to win that game as long as Jake Browning was the quarterback. So I would like to see like 1 or 2 weeks of consistent dominant play from them. And I just haven't.
Where's the thing? You're never going to see dominant play offensively.
But I need it for like 2 games from like, when you're playing some bums, and
you won't get it though. They're not going to be a dominant offense,
and that's the problem. Is that if you're not that, then I don't know if they're actually like the ceiling that Broncos fans think that they can reach. I don't know if they're ever going to reach that.
You don't need to be those. That's what I'm saying. Is that like they won't be dominant offensively. They have Bo Nix and a good, not great wide receiver room, a good, not great running back room. Evan Ingram is a good, not great tight end. They're never going to be dominant.
Is 2 games a lot to ask of that?
0 games is a lot to ask. 1 game is a lot to ask of that. They're never going to be a dominant offense. But I think the point is their defense is so amazing. And in this fourth quarter, we saw if the offense can be good enough and disciplined enough to continue to move the chains with the short area, run after the catch plays, with Bo Nix's legs, all that, if they can just be good enough to continue to make good on the opportunities their defense gives them, the goal is to like score 18 points and allow 12. You know, like that's type of team. So I don't want to see domination offensively because that's just too high of a bar for me. I just do not believe that to be possible. I want to see that where they don't make mistakes. They stay ahead of the chains. These screens that they're throwing aren't into the dirt, aren't a 1 yard gain because of what the defense is sitting on it because they know what's coming. The runs are going well. Like you said, they're utilizing Bo Nix's legs. I just want to see consistency, which is all I care about. Because I have never once had an expectation that a Bo Nix-led offense will be some down the field dominant juggernaut of a unit. Just be good enough that your defense can win you games. And that's exactly what the fourth quarter was to me.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to what you said about what you want to see from this offense specifically, as I was doing a little bit of research on Bo Nix and what he was outside of the Broncos, dating back to Oregon, seemed to thrive heavily on going back to what you said again, being more of a dynamic type QB and having more of a up-tempo offensive scheme. And we saw that for like literally 7-8 minutes of that fourth quarter game. And that's just the complete invert of what Sean Payne wants to do for the entirety of the year so far. And so looking at this team, I feel like, and I fear that you might be right when it comes to them potentially like being real frauds toward the end of the year. And that's so disappointing considering how hellacious their defense is and how much pressure they just like give to someone like not Jackson Dart, but throughout the entirety of the year, there was a really bad interception that you said and that Jackson Dart made, but that's because he had guys literally coming down his throat.
Hey, yo!
Sorry, no.
What the fuck?
No, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. It wasn't. I'm just gonna stop now.
No, you guys are saying frauds,
Yeah.
and I think Broncos fans are going to take that obviously negatively. But I think the way I would phrase it is like fraudulent isn't the word I'm looking for, but the flaws are the exact flaws that I think good defenses will be able to exploit, and like their strengths are things that good defenses can take away. So. Say that fourth quarter is real and say they carry them to next week and that's how they play, right? Not to say they'll score 33 points every quarter, but they play a normal, high-profile Denver Broncos offense, the good version of that, not the bad. Even if that's the case, I don't think you can beat the best teams in the league that have good defenses and good offenses with this style of play that's so reliant on yards after the catch, so reliant on throws underneath 10 yards with very few throws over the middle of the field. Yes, Bo Nix can do some stuff off the sidelines. Most quarterbacks can. The real litmus test is like, can you throw deep over the middle? And he didn't do that this game either. Probably will never be his MO, right? But I think even if they are successful over the next 10 games, that's just a style of offense that puts a lot of pressure on your defense because you're not going to get the big explosive plays. And like, the way to win is explosive plays on offense and limiting consistency on defense. The Eagles formula from last year.
Yeah.
And, you look across the conference, maybe there's not elite defenses right now that'll really make you struggle. But eventually in a playoff run, you're going to face somebody that has a good unit on both sides of the ball.
Facts. And I think a lot of this also, here's the confusing part that's like kind of set in stone, but it's up in the air in terms of if this can happen. And then everything that we like think about the Broncos is different. If Bo Nix can hit a deep ball to save his life, right? If he can stop overthrowing guys, like every single, it sucks because like you mentioned the explosive plays. Those opportunities are there. Like they do take chances every once in a while. And I feel like every time I see a throw over 25 yards that's down the sideline, Bo Nix is overthrowing the guy. And so like you always talk about, Bo Nix is just like diet, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts will hit a deep ball and you can get explosives in that way. Bo Nix is not doing that. And so whenever you are doing this like dink and dunk and then you want to, change everything up, you can still get that explosive. And if we're getting a 40-yard chunk play in the second quarter, that changes everything as opposed to, okay, now the only thing we have in our bag is screens, 5-yard screens. So if you are getting Bo Nix on the run and you're using his legs, you're getting one massive completion to flip the field every game. And then you have your defense. That is a formula that I like a lot more than, okay, we're just going to, we're going to throw every pass 5-6 yards from the line of scrimmage and then see what happens.
Yeah, and that's why Sean Payton does it. That's the point. Is you do these RPOs, you do these screens, you do these short area drags and stuff to set up those deep shots that he knows Bo Nix can and should hit up the sidelines. They're not asking him to throw deep skinny posts over the middle, reading the two safeties, deciding where the whole shot is, right? They're asking him to throw one-on-one go balls to Cortland Sutton, which is the exact counter you want to this screen offense. You hit Troy Franklin, you hit Evan Ingram, you hit RJ Harvey up the middle of the field in these short 5-yard areas and then take off the top. That's what they want to do. That's the whole point. If Bo Nix can't hit it, the offense is going to look ugly.
See, I was going to ask you a question, but I guess it might now be redundant, but I'm still going to ask it. Do you think the player to help execute these explosive plays is on the roster currently?
Yeah,
AKA,
Bo Nix.
AKA, not Bo Nix. I'm talking about these receivers.
I know. But below, I know what you're saying. The receivers are fine. Like Troy Franklin is a good after the catch guy. I think he's shown flashes a little bit. Cortland Sutton is great. Fantastic one-on-one catcher. Great deep ball guy. It's really, to me, what the execution is going to be like with Bo Nix and how much Sean Payton trusts him.
Yeah, because even last year, when the offense really got going, you saw Bo Nix. He was completing passes down the field. Like he would hit some digs and he would hit the seam balls, and you would get big plays off of that. And so that just isn't something that they're executing at a high level right now. If you can get back to that
until the fourth quarter,
right? Shout out to you. You did what you had to do.
Yep.
But this is like that fourth quarter. That's where everybody who thought that the Broncos could be a Super Bowl contender, you think that, okay, we're going to take everything from last year and we're going to build on it. That hasn't necessarily been the case this year. But if we're adding that into the bag, okay, yeah, like I can see the Broncos doing something if the passing offense can be much more dynamic than what it is. Okay, cool. Now and obviously we've talked about it before, and Broncos fans are, hating Sean Payton for it. Let's open up the playbook. Let's get past page 1 and page 2, and let's start getting into everything else that Bo Nix can do, and maybe we can get somewhere.
Yep, and which is why they're a confusing team. We're talking about all the flaws here, but we just saw proof of concept for one quarter exactly that they can do it. The offense can work. There is an ability to win with this offense. Is it enough long term? We don't know, but show us week by week that you can do this in a regular season perspective, and then maybe we can get some hope for the playoffs.
Yeah.
What is the next team we want to talk about in which division?
Let's go. We were in the AFC. Let's go to the NFC. Let's talk about the Falcons. The eternal question of confusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for this season, I don't think that they're that confusing, but I think their confusion comes from a very big picture macro sense. Because, and I said it last week, I know what they are. They're mid. Right, yeah. That's who they are. They are not going to be one of the worst teams in the league. They're not going to be one of the best teams. They're going to have games where they go at home on Monday night and they beat Josh Allen by double digits. And then they're also going to have games where they don't score any points against Bryce Young and the Panthers. Right, you're going to have that up and down, that inconsistency. The big picture confusion comes because we're 9 starts into Michael Penix's career, and I still don't know if he's the guy. We have Raheem Morris at head coach. I don't know if he's the guy because some of the decisions, and that was especially on display this past week against San Francisco. I don't know if he's the guy. Your offensive coordinator, what is going to happen there? Your defense, everything that they do well, the defense is opposite. They run the ball really well. They can't stop the run. They don't throw the ball really well. They can stop the pass.
They're dominating against the pass.
Exactly. So they have this very inconsistent yin and yang thing. And I think I know what's going to happen, but they are confusing in that sense because on a down to down and game to game basis, you have no idea what version of the Falcons you're getting.
Yeah, I agree. And what's most irritating for Falcons fans specifically is that this is the complete opposite of what they're used to. They're used to having not a cowboy style offense or a type of dynamic offense over the last few years at least, but they're not they haven't found a solid or consistent defense at all up until this year for the first time in fucking years, bro. And shit, yeah. So can you guys guess how many passing touchdowns this team has over the course of the year so far?
Passing touchdowns with Penix.
We're
how many? 6 games?
3?
Because they had a bye week already, right?
Yeah, they had their bye already.
6 weeks, 4.
Close. They have 5.
Damn.
This team has.
You know how I know that?
How do you know
Drake
that?
London in fantasy.
True. This team is in the same type of offensive categories, passing wise, as the Titans, as the Browns, the Raiders, and the Jets.
You know what's annoying? So there's a lot of reasons they're confusing. Everything you guys just said is true. They're confusing also in their general outlook because nobody expects this defense to be good at all. This is supposed to be a bad defense, and that wasn't even individually people were low on them. Everybody was low on them. They were projected to be one of the worst defenses in the league. They had no pass rush last year. They brought in 2 rookies as really the only band-aids there. Shout out Leonard Floyd. I guess there's also that who's been playing pretty well. And they managed to be a great pass rush this year. Yeah. They're getting more pressures on non-blitzing plays than they did on blitzing plays last year. Their D-line has legitimately been the strength of this team. Nobody saw that coming. That's confusing, right? And why is Drake London incapable of playing well, or not playing well, because it's not his fault? Why are they incapable of feeding Drake London on the games Darnell Mooney plays? Drake London has had 2 dominant games. Guess who was injured for those games?
Who?
Darnell motherfucking Mooney. Why is Michael Penix incapable of feeding the ball to his alpha receiver when there's another guy to look at?
I have no idea. And I think their offense and their passing game specifically is so It's so weird, and it's also it's predictable on multiple fronts. Like one, you know what Michael Penix is good at, but also the things that he's supposed to be good at, he's not necessarily great at right now.
Yeah.
He's been inconsistent this year. And then even their play calling and their looks is also very, very predictable. Like the 49ers were talking about how on that 4th and 1, they saw Drake motion, use motion. They saw the formation and they were like, there's no way they're gonna run this play, because on money downs they like to put Drake London in motion, and then they throw the ball to him on like 2 routes. And they're like, come on, like we're not doing this again. And it's very easy to diagnose. And so when you're not putting people in unpredictable looks, and people can like sit and diagnose and know exactly what's coming, for a young player like Michael Penix, that's just going to make everything harder when he's still trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, he's just weird. Like, what is Michael Penix's strength right now as a quarterback? I can rattle off some motherfucking weaknesses. What is a strength of his that's above average?
His waves. The depth in his waves. Them waves must be fucking crazy. That's the only thing that I can think of, bro. Because genuinely, he looks so unbelievably like mid. He looks the complete opposite of what he was supposed to be coming out of college, you know?
He's not mobile.
Not at all.
He doesn't throw in the middle of the field. He's on bonus timing. No deep shots over the middle. He's incapable. Entirely. They don't even try. He's supposed to be accurate deep up the sidelines in like a transformational way, like he was in college. Looking like that was a Roma Dunze stat. We haven't seen a single point in his career so far in which he's a dominant deep ball receiver. He did not even to level like Jalen Hurts, who that's a strength of his, right? But like, we maybe exaggerate it because of lack of other stuff. We don't even do that for Penix. It's not even good enough for us to exaggerate. He is inconsistent as hell in the intermediate areas, throwing to the sidelines, doesn't throw with touch at all, just straight power, doesn't always have good timing with guys and outbreaking routes, and obviously isn't some technician reading the field, diagnosing plays pre-snap to kill it in the short game. Everything is either below average or mid right now with him. So not to say it's over. He's so young and early in his career that like the story's not written. They still got to figure out the right ways to utilize him. But thus far, I'm willing to give a silver line to a young quarterback pretty easily. I'm willing to be gracious to young quarterbacks. He is testing my graciousness. I don't know what to point to have some belief.
Wow, yeah, I don't.
Feels like the 5th best quarterback in his draft class might just be the 5th best quarterback in his draft class.
1, that's tough. 2, yeah, I agree. I think like, cause you look at teams that have good pass rushes and can run the ball extremely effectively, and you look at them and you're like, okay, you should be one of the best teams, at least in your division. And then we can start talking about conference and all that other stuff. And they're just not. They're 3-3, and it's like it's so baffling. And even Michael Penix is out here saying like, we have too many good players for us to like not find a way. And so like clearly they have an identity. You know what they want to do offensively. It's just the counter to them just being this like crazy outside zone is, all right, we're going to take these shots with Michael Penix, and it's not there.
And you know what's even more confusing and frustrating? They had a transformational rookie class on defense. Like to get Xavier Watts to pair him with Jesse Bates, that is a great safety duo now. And you already have Alfred. You already have like some good DBs there. You got Billy Bowman Jr., who's had some flashes in the season. Then you add in Jalen Walker and James Pierce, who, especially James Pierce has some flashes. But even without that, like that's a strong D line that's even getting better. Your middle of your defense is good by adding Divine Diablo, who's an athletic linebacker, who's your best run defender, I think, to add with Ellison. They have all the defensive support they need, which obviously was not expected to be the case. The fact that the side of the ball that's supposed to be your strength, where your money is, where your big premier draft picks are, can't hold up their end of the bargain, but the surprise rookie unit defense is the strength, is so confusing.
Honestly, at this point in time, like I'm just looking at the helm of their offense, which is their OC. There's just so many like actually questionable things that happened during their last game, specifically against the 49ers, where in that 4th quarter they have like a super pivotal 4th and 1, and for like whatever reason you might think, oh shit, 4th and 1, you know what's gonna happen. They should be like giving the ball to arguably the best back in the league right now in Bijan Robinson. Dude wasn't even in the game. What the fuck is going on right now?
Well, Tyler Algier is nice. That's the question. That's the answer there. Short yardage. He can put his head down and make a play.
Nah, but they came out and like that was very, very frustrating. They asked Raheem Morris about it, and he was like, well, we had just ran the ball with Bijan on 3rd and 1, and so we have faith in everybody.
He's your best player.
Come on, like it's 3rd and 1, it's 4th and 1. It's the game. Shout out to Algier. He's awesome. But like let's do that. And then you're right. Like the coaching stuff is crazy, because even on defense, there's a play where they sent out 10 guys, and so they're not all the way buttoned up in small details like that. And this really comes down to, and it feels very simple and very like surface level to just be like the quarterback has to be good and then everything will be fine.
Sometimes it is surface level.
Yeah, but you know, when this is Michael Penix's first year as a starting quarterback, you are still trying to figure that out. And so I think like offensively, it is nice that you have an identity of, hey, we're just gonna run outside zone and like everything's good and we can make that work with Bijan and we can put ourselves in these good positions. But if they're gonna take that next step, then Michael Penix is gonna have to have to elevate. And we might just look back at this year and say, okay, it's a building block for next year. And because again, nobody thought that they were gonna be this like world beater. And so maybe this is just all right, one step, and then he'll get better next year, and you just hope for some more progression out of him. But right now, on a week to week basis, they're probably just mid. Like they're gonna end up 8-9 or 9-8, and that's probably fine for this year.
Yeah, let's go to an NFC team. While we're talking about the Falcons, let's talk about the team that just played. The 49ers are my most confusing team in the NFC West. They're not that confusing, but I think this is a pretty cut and dry conference. I think we understand who the other teams are. Mm-hmm. And this will be a quick one because the 49ers are just confusing because they should not continue to be this good. We have every reason to write them off because of injuries. You lose Nick Bosa, your one linchpin on the defensive line, the guy that makes everything work in your passing defense theoretically good enough, right? Shout out Bryce Huff. Shout out all the other guys that are surrounding him, Ricky Michael Williams. These guys are supposed to be good compliments to Nick Bosa, who's supposed to be an all-pro level pass rusher. You lose him for the season, we say, well, shit, I guess their defensive line won't be good enough to contend. But okay, we continue to win games. Oh my God, we're 4-1. Mm-hmm. You lose Frederick Warner, the best linebacker in the NFL. The guy who is your shot caller. He creates the organization with the offense. Defense. As soon as he went out last week, there was big plays given up left and right because clearly the defense was not in synchronization because Fred Warner wasn't there to call the plays and keep it together, right? He's also incredibly important for your pass coverage. He's one of the best pass coverage linebackers of all time, or obviously been good against the run. So we say, oh my God, you lost both your all-pro defenders. Surely you cannot stop anybody. Surely you won't be able to defend the best running offenses in the league. And no matter what we do offensively, it just won't be good enough, right? Right? They come out here and they shut down the Falcons offense and they continue to win games. They've been making do with injuries all season. Kyle Shanahan's just a genius. So what's confusing, I guess, or what's unknown to me, I guess is a better way to phrase it. Yeah. How far can Kyle Shanahan genius take this team with no defensive juice?
Now, I will say it's not hard to shut down the Falcons defense. They shut themselves down. They handcuff themselves. They give you the keys. They're like, hold on. Go ahead and tighten them up. Like they do it for themselves. But I will say having the most random players who even like, I don't even think the announcers in the game like know of or anything like that just come out and step up is so insane. And that just, I give like the most respect to their coaching. Like you said, how far could they take him? I don't know. But one thing that I do know is that CMC is having one of them years. He's having one of them years right now on both ends.
That's what's interesting is he's not having a vintage CMC year. He's doing it completely differently.
Yeah.
He's doing it completely differently and getting that shit out the mud because Kyle Shanahan is a genius. And in this game, they got George Kittle back, who's basically their sixth offensive lineman. And they toted that bitch through the tackles every single time. They finally got a couple of explosive runs. CMC has to play between the tackles with this vision type game now because the blocking isn't good enough for him to have like long speed. And I think he might have a little bit less juice to be able to play that way. And he's getting that shit done. Insane passing yards at the backfield. It's unique. And that's what's interesting to me is like, I don't know how to project them going forward when they're going to keep winning games, but we keep having reasons to doubt them in a playoff setting.
Yeah. So like with the Shanahan offense, there's always a floor that you know is going to be there. And especially if you have CMC there, it just makes defenses, play you in a different way that allows you to have advantages everywhere else. Plus, George Kittle coming back for this last game is awesome. So like if you can have George Kittle, you can have CMC, Shanahan offense, that's cool. Your question of like how far is the Shanahan genius going to take us? He's not the genius that we should be like, oh, how far can he take us? It is Robert Saleh.
Both.
Like his genius and his like the fact that like he came back and throughout the entire offseason, everybody in that locker room was like, hey, Robert Saleh is different, right? Robert, I will end your life, Saleh. He is so great and he gets us prepared on every single week for every single play and we know that like we're gonna be fine. And they did the same exact thing this week for, even with all the injuries that you said. And the Niners, like, if they have an offensive floor with Shanahan, Saleh feels at this point like your defense is gonna have a floor, and you're not gonna be able to just walk all over them. And for them to go into really any situation against teams that should have advantages in certain places, and you look up and Bijan, who just ran for 170 against the Bills, he's not gonna get 100 scrimmage yards this week. Like the Niners are going to be fine, and they have 2 games. They play the Texans next week, and then they play the Giants. We could look up, and they could be 7-2. They could still be at the top of the NFC West, and we're going to say, "Wow, what the hell is going on?" They're going to be confusing for the rest of the year.
Yep. I mean, we won't be able to write them off, but we won't be able to have full faith in them because at a certain point, you're going to face offenses that you really need to have your talented guys out there. Mm-hmm. But I just certainly will not write them off, no matter who's at quarterback. Apparently, Mac Jones coming in, not losing a step. Your receivers being injured. Barely losing a step because CMC is serving as a receiver at the backfield. You're using insane motions to create these blocking angles with Juszczyk and Kittle back last night, and then motioning out CMC and having him attack the slot up the middle as a receiver. Like, you're so creative making do that I will never fully give up on you.
Yeah. God, man.
Mo,
this team is such magic. So, my first team, which way do I want to lean? Do you want to lean towards, let's do this. Get them out the way real quick. Not real quick, because they're actually so interesting. The Steelers. This team is wildly confusing because I guess, again, similar to the Falcons, they had made their investments super loud throughout the offseason, meaning they got the most expensive defense in the entire NFL. And for some reason, when I watch this team, they feel like their offense at times is not necessarily carrying them, but their defense isn't doing them no favors, So why the hell did I go ahead and do some research, backtracked throughout the entirety of the season, and I noticed, oh my God, I forgot this team played the New York Jets for the first week of the season. This team is the only team in the NFL so far to let the Jets drop 30 on their fucking head.
That's so embarrassing looking back. We were talking about, did Justin Fields figure it out? Good for him. This is awesome. I'm so happy for Justin. Bench for Tyrod Taylor this week. Yeah. Steelers, when I catch you, what's your DC's name again?
I
forget. When I catch him, they run the most vanilla defense in the world.
Yeah.
And we've seen weeks where the defensive line talent that they have, investing a first round pick, still having Hayward, still having TJ Watt, still having a lot of money allocated there, like you said, has won them games before, And then we see games like this, where they face the Bengals and they offer zero resistance on the perimeter to a Joe Flacco-led offense who's getting the ball out insanely fast, throwing to his playmakers, not allowing the defensive line to make an impact because the ball's out of his hands so quick that they can't make these upfield pass rushes, right?
Yeah.
So the secondary is getting picked on, and their secondary isn't even a weakness on paper. They're supposed to have pretty good corners. They have Ramsey, they have Porter, they have guys there, and they're still being picked on one-on-one in space because we're running very simple coverages. Steelers fans are begging to open the playbook up because they're running vanilla stuff where a guy like Joe Flacco, who's a seasoned veteran, says, okay, cover 2, right there. Cover 3, right there. Mm-hmm. Real simple, no disguise coverages, no mismatches. It's easy to pick on.
Well, I got some bad news for you about the playbook.
Yeah.
That is Aaron Rodgers' playbook. That is remember the Titans type playbook. We said I run 6 plays and we run them to perfection.
I'm talking about the defense. It's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So both. But I'm talking about the defense is doing the same exact thing.
Yeah. So I think with the Steelers, they're also eternally confusing because their point differential is always super low. It's a positive. They're plus 10 right now on the season. We've seen times this year where they still have a winning record, but it's been a negative point differential.
Yeah.
For them, they've built everything, at least offensively, on Aaron Rodgers' ball, and allowing him to make the decisions that he wants to do. I think defensively, it is kind of confusing because you have this edge trio and these pass rushers of Herbig and Highsmith and Watt, and they're out here making plays and you're doing all of that, but it just doesn't. It feels like we're at the end of an era, and we've probably been at the end of an era for 5 years now, and they just need some more juice.
And what's so interesting too is that going back to this offseason, of course, there's so much conversation that Steelers fans are having internally about TJ Watt specifically, and they're trying to figure, is this guy washed or not? And I watched a couple of plays of him specifically, and trying to see where he popped and what he was he actually limited or so-called washed. And from what I've seen, it doesn't even feel like he's necessarily washed. He hasn't popped off the charts, but also see him getting doubled and triple teamed often. So I'm like, what is any player in the league supposed to do?
Don't buy the propaganda that Steelers fans talk about with the double teaming shit. they constantly talk about that. It's because he plays wide 9, so he rushes against the tight end, so he constantly gets chipped. So of course he's gonna be double teamed. They are insane propagandists about this TJ Watt double team thing, because there's always been these discourse wars of TJ Watt versus Myles Garrett, and Steelers fans are crazy about it. He gets double teamed more than anybody. Of course he doesn't have the pressures of Myles Garrett. They're insane and they don't know what they're talking about that. Of course, it's the role he plays necessitates double teams.
Yeah. So, with that being said, where are your superpowers defensively? Why the fuck are you guys not attacking or not getting as much pressures on some the Cincinnati Bengals, who we've throughout the entirety of the year talked about how terrible their offensive line is? Joe Flacco had all day, and what was so infuriating about watching that game the other day, or last week I guess now, versus the Cincinnati Bengals, is how they just kept on running the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. And they watched the same guys what's his name? I think his name is Chuck Clark. He is not good. He does not look good at all. He is one of the worst players on the defensive side of the game, or on the defensive side for them, at least for that singular game. And their run defense just feels uninspiring. At least in that game.
Yeah, you've seen them get diced up in the run this year as well. That's also been a very common theme.
Offensively, we're talking about how they're confusing, right?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily they're bad. It's just about them being confusing and hard to understand. The offense is also confusing just because it's so unique and it's such an Arthur Smith offense. They run by far the most 3 tight end sets in the league, probably by far the most 2 tight end sets in the league. I didn't check on that one. And it's because of the absence of wide receiver talent, right? They're when they have their best players out there, they have DK Metcalf as a lone solo wide receiver who's been great with Aaron Rodgers. They have a good connection up the sideline. We're getting the best jump ball DK Metcalf we've ever gotten using his athleticism, which makes sense because Aaron Rodgers is maybe the best ever at setting up those types of throws, right? Unk still got it in that regard. But then outside of DK, they don't want Calvin Austin out there all the time. They don't want these other guys out there all the time. Yeah. So they go out there with Darnell Washington, Jonnu Smith, and Pat Freiermuth, rushing the ball down everybody's throats. Jalen Warren's having a great year. They're doing a good job at passing out of those 3 tight end sets, using Jonnu Smith in space, which is his whole thing. He's a very good underneath receiver that can make yards after the catch from the tight end position. Darnell Washington is a fucking mammoth that can catch jump balls in the end zone. Pat Freiermuth is well-rounded. It's a good mix of skill sets in the tight end room. But it's weird that they have such a reliance on the tight end room. I don't know what to do with that in terms of projecting them against good teams.
Yeah, the Darnell Washington of it all, he's essentially in another offensive lineman.
Yeah, exactly.
He's 6'7", 300 pounds, and so
dude, what's frying me is during the graphic of that game, they just put 300 plus.
We don't know. It's unknown.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that is a weird thing that they have their strengths, obviously. Aaron Rodgers and the efficiency he can throw with, a good run game with a big size advantage up front. They have the defensive line pressure. They have some talented DBs. It's just not coming together with the most consistency for various reasons, mostly related to coaching, I think.
Yeah. And honestly, too, from what I've been reading, this is the quarterback that Steelers fans have been craving for over the last few years. And just when they receive this quarterback, their defense, I'm not going to say falls off of a cliff, but just don't look the same or feel the same.
Yeah, no, it's still a good defense. They've had good weeks. It's just, again, you get done up by Joe Flacco. We need to see consistency to be able to feel good about this formula working.
At least their offensive line looks decent. Looks solid.
Yeah, it's a good offensive line. Shout out Zach Frazier. Don, what's your next team?
Let's go to let's do the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Why are the Buffalo Bills a confusing team to you?
Because started off 4-0, but last 3 games, right? They've lost 2. They looked shaky against the Saints. That game was close late in the fourth quarter, and you're starting to question: is this team actually going to get it done? Because especially before these last 2 weeks, Chiefs were struggling. The Ravens are dead. The Bengals, Joe Burrow's out for the year, and everybody's looking at it okay, if there's ever going to be a time for the Bills to win their division, to be at the top of the AFC, to get the 1 seed, have everything go through Buffalo, this would be the year. And currently, They are second in the division, and the New England Patriots are at the top of the AFC East. And so you're looking at them like, yo, what the hell is going on? It's a lot. And I think recently the most important thing is they've turned the ball over a lot in the last 3 games. And their specific style of how they want to play relies on you not turning the ball over. Like that's the key. And Josh Allen in the last 3 games has 4 picks. It took him, he had 4 picks in the last 10 games prior to that.
Yeah.
And we saw like when the Bills were this like super roller coaster and people are having, Josh Allen discourse every single week, is because he was throwing, picks every single week, making bad decisions. Once he eliminated that, you felt really good. That hasn't been the case for the last 2 weeks. And so that's why like right now you're looking at them like, okay, what's really good. So I think like that's the main foundation where if they can get that cleaned up, then we're fine.
Yeah. And the more confusing thing is like, actually, and I shouldn't say this is confusing because it's really not, but the frustrating part is the defense is still the defense.
Yeah.
They still have safeties who can't tackle, and it makes their run game really bad because they're not good in space on outside runs at all. They got ate up by Bijan for the exact reason. If you could isolate these second line defenders in space, you're going to be able to beat them with a talented running back every time and create chunk plays. The defensive line interior, they drafted the young guys there that are supposed to be the answer long term. Still not great. The linebacker core still not great. They have DBs that they drafted high. They drafted a first-round pick in Maxwell Harrison. Hasn't been able to play yet, so that hasn't been a strength. But it can't really be a strength because, of course, their biggest acquisition hasn't touched the field yet. So maybe when he gets back, that'll be helpful that they'll have 2 strong corners on the outside. There's no real strength of defense right now. Early in the season, we saw the defensive line flash. The Joey Bosa addition was working really well. They had a really high pressure rate for the first few games. That's come down to earth a little bit. So now we're just left saying, once again, this defense doesn't have the high-end talent to really be able to compete, especially when the offense kind of lacks the explosive plays in the receiver room.
So right now, they have Josh Allen. He's amazing. And so there's a baseline of how much you believe in the Bills. But there also is the question of like, all right, like, are you actually a good contender? We're gonna get into the later part of the season, and we're gonna start calling people frauds and this and that. Like, and like they are super weird because like they're gonna win a lot of games just because you have Josh Allen, and he's gonna be able to put the offense on his back. And even whenever the defense isn't carrying, he's not gonna turn the ball over so much. Like I do feel very confident that he's turned the corner in his career to where the way that they've played over the last couple weeks, that's going to get righted a little bit. The problem is, so offensively, Keon Coleman, 112 yards in week 1, and everyone's like, okay, we're here, right? And Stephon Diggs, who we have our number 1 receiver. Since then, in the games after, Keon Coleman has 125 yards total.
Gee,
like they don't have you had your guy that you thought was going to be your wide receiver 1. And he's not there. So now you're looking at Khalil Shakir. And I like Shakir. Had him on my fantasy team for a lot. He's not wide receiver 1, right? Like
I like some of the Shakir movies. Exactly. What the fuck does he know about go balls?
he's not supposed to be that guy. And even whenever you have James Cook, Bills fans will tell you they are not overly pleased with the complete usage of James Cook. And they feel like sometimes you can have James Cook and you can use him even more, especially given the fact that he's played extremely well this year.
Yeah, he's been elite.
Yeah.
And I know the confusing part to me is we're talking about the weaknesses of this team. They're not confusing, right? We kind of understand them roster-wise. The confusing thing is, how do we have the same weaknesses we had last year? How is the receiver room still a problem? How is there still a lack of one-on-one down the field, beater of multiple? I was going to say man coverage beater, but it's not even just that. We don't even have like high IQ receivers that can like find the holes and deep balls and defenses, right? We don't have anything in the receiver room that really lends itself to elevating Josh Allen. We've had some flashes with Dalton Kincaid, so there's that, but not in that type of way that we need. It's been different for that. We still don't have a cornerback room we feel great about. Maybe help is coming there. Help surely is coming there. We'll see if it's good enough. We damn sure don't have a good safety room. We damn sure don't have the run stopping up to spine of the defense. All the same problems that made them lose last year and made them have a talent deficiency against the best teams in the playoffs are still here after an offseason where we try to address things. We're still the same exact team with a better offensive line and better run game.
Yeah, the question, I think like the question for them is like, all right, we're like obviously where do we go from here, and who do we get in here? Because the main way that they've been able to survive, even as like their defense has gone through a lot of different phases, is through creating turnovers, and they're not doing that. And like Bill Barnwell, he had put out this chart of the Bills defense over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And like their turnover rate for the last 5 years and from 2021 to 2025, 7th, 5th, 1st, and 1st. And then this year it's 24th. Right. So they're not creating turnovers.
You're
and then
right.
just opponent points per drive on the drive that they don't create a turnover from 21 to 25. 1st, 7th. Last year was 25th, but again, 1st in turnover rate, and then this year 18th. So you're not getting turnovers, and you're still letting people score. So that's always been like their biggest equalizer, and they don't have the playmakers on their roster on really any level to go out and make those
and
things
they've given
happen.
up 31 runs over 10 yards this year. Guess how many Dallas Cowboys have given up? A notoriously terrible front seven that's given up gash after gash.
27?
30.
Damn.
Only team above the Bills in yards over 10 yards is the Miami Dolphins,
Yeah.
who are a complete stimulus package to all running backs.
The only thing that this defense has been able to do when it comes to creating turnovers so far is just like fumbles, but those feel like skillful impact plays, of course. But a lot of the times it's kind of like 50-50 in the air. And speaking of in the air, they haven't gotten any turnovers in the air at all throughout the entire course of the season, I believe. Or at least not as much as they should when it comes to trying to figure out how to create advantages through this shaky defense. So maybe they aren't as confusing, going back to what you said at all.
They are, though. They are
who they
like
are.
when you have Josh Allen, when you have the second best quarterback in the league, you want to be able to feel like we can still make a deep run. And certainly like that might just be the case. Like we see flawed teams all the time still be able to win games and make runs. And so that might happen. The problem is, are you going to try and shift your offense into a version of itself that we've previously seen that invites a little bit more variance, a little bit more turnover issues to try and create more explosive plays? Like that's the interesting part, and that's kind of the confusing part where yes, you can try it and open it up and you can get the big plays, but then if you're going back to that version of Josh Allen where he is playing the same way that he's played over the last like 3 weeks where the turnovers are there, is it worth getting the high end stuff if you're also going to get those mistakes? I'm not sure, because that's completely different than how they've operated over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Next team, let's go over to the AFC South. It's got to be the Jacksonville Jaguars. It has to be. They're so confusing.
Duval.
This is not the worst team in the division. This is not the best team in the division. The prompt is nothing of the sort in terms of quality, right? It's confusing. This team is unbelievably confusing because they have such extreme strengths and such annoying ass weaknesses that are not just weaknesses because of lack of talent. They're weaknesses that shouldn't be weaknesses because your highest paid players and your highest drafted players are playing those positions. Man, what is going on with this offense? We just saw the London game, which weird shit happens in London games, right? We just saw the weirdest shit happen in the London game. This offense, it cannot pass the ball down the field with any form of consistency, despite having 2 years in a row with first-round pick wide receivers that were supposed to be one of the best duos in the league. But Brian Thomas Jr. cannot operate in the middle of the field right now. He's had some good weeks, so we get him going on the sideline. They're asking him to do less of that. As a number one receiver, you have to do some of that, and it is not going well ever. We finally had a Travis Hunter breakout game, right? But even then, that happened like later in the game. For the first half, it was a lot of Parker Washington, because that seems to be the only guy that Trevor Lawrence trusts right now, that he trusts him to know the playbook, make the catch over the middle of the field, take a hit, etc. And it's just leading to a lot of weirdness where Trevor Lawrence isn't playing great, he doesn't trust his guys, he's missing some accuracy throws, but also these guys are dropping things and not running the right routes. It's on everybody, but also on nobody. It's what is NFL offense?
Fun fact, the Jaguars rank 32nd in the NFL at converting catchable targets.
That's absurd.
Another fun fact, BTJ ranks 83rd amongst 83 wide receivers in catching just 64% of his catchable targets.
That part is less surprising, but absurd because he looked like a true superstar last year. And looking back, I guess it's not that he forgot or like changed the player. It's that a lot of his big plays last year were up the sideline, beating people with his speed. That offense before wasn't asking him to operate the middle field as much. And now we're seeing a new offense, Liam Cohen, that is diverse, is smart, is modern, attacks all the areas you need to attack as an offense. And obviously he requires his number one receiver to be able to be versatile over the middle of the field. So we're just seeing that he's asked to do this more than he did before, and it's not really lending to his skill set necessarily. Maybe we do view him more as like a flanker number two receiver that has to play on the sidelines. Maybe that's just the reality. But that's annoying. And that's confusing because nobody expected that.
At all. And like you picked BTJ in the first round last year, like you said, and you thought you were going to take a leap. He's taking a step back. You drafted a player in Travis Hunter that you thought you were getting 2 players, and they haven't figured out how to use him just as like one regular player. Every single week with him is different. And so I am very happy that he was able to have a breakout game at his first 100-yard game of his career and caught his first touchdown. Who the hell knows what's going to happen next week?
Exactly.
Right?
Ultimate confusing factor.
Yeah, next week he might come out and play 7 snaps on offense and all the snaps on defense, and we don't know like what the exact plan is. And so I think when you add like his up and down this, and not even like about Travis Hunter, but just in the nature in which they use him. When you take that along with BTJ, along with the fact that Trevor Lawrence also is still growing and isn't like the most accurate quarterback that you can have, I'm not sure what happens. We talked about them last week where we're saying like they're super, undisciplined and they get a lot of penalties and they get behind the sticks and behind the chains. We'll see what happens. All of that can work and you can kind of work through everything if you're creating turnovers and they have at some crazy rate. If that drops a little bit, I do worry about them long term.
Like I did against Matthew Stafford and the Falcons offense, who went sicko mode against them.
Yeah. And even the week prior, Sam Darnold had no interceptions against the Jags, and Jacksonville scores 12 points. The week before that, I thought that the Chiefs were going to win because I thought that Patrick Mahomes wasn't going to turn the ball over. And then he turned the ball over for a 99-yard touchdown play, 14-point swing, and that kind of changes the
complexion
direction
of the game.
Yeah, thank you. And so they have to get those opportunities to then help your offense get 1 or 2 more chances to kind of right the ship and what's going on. I'm very happy with the way that the running and the rushing offense has looked. If we can get the passing offense to elevate, then I feel better, especially if the turnovers kind of drop down. But I'm not sure if that's going to get there.
This team is ultimate big picture, right? Like, we understand the defensive improvements they've made. The additions they've made have been great. Shout out Jordan Lewis. Shout out Devin Lloyd taking a jump.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out the edge rushing duo playing well. They are far better than expected defense. And like you said, the running game, we know that's Liam Cohen's bread and butter, right? One of the genius run designers in the NBA, in the NFL. If we have Trevor Lawrence making $55 million a year, that's absurd. He needs to play better. He needs to be more consistent, but he also hasn't been one of the worst quarterbacks or anything. He does things well in his own right, and the receivers are letting him down. All the important parts of this piece of this puzzle aren't blending well together, and it's everybody's fault because of that. Like Trevor Lawrence's life is harder because the receivers aren't playing well in the middle of the field, and Travis Hunter is being utilized in this way that clearly he's limited and doesn't know the whole playbook because they're easing him into it. That makes his ability to trust these guys harder. So he's relying on Parker Washington and Brenton Strange and guys that shouldn't be the highest volume guys compared to those two. And then those receivers' lives are harder because Trevor Lawrence fucking airballs easy throws every now and then and doesn't believe in them fully to give them all the looks that they should be getting. It's just a weird, confusing team.
And so now they're 4-3. They're 2 games behind the Colts for the AFC South. I obviously you still have time in the year to catch them. I don't think they're going to catch them because the Colts look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we were talking about it yesterday. Right now, the Chiefs are currently out of the playoffs because of playoff picture, and the Jaguars are holding on to that 7th spot. There's a very real world where they missed the playoffs, and even after all of this improvement that we've seen, this team is going to end up at 9-8 and miss the playoffs and be the 8th seed and be the definition of mid if you're not going to get the improvements from everybody else. And the BTJ stuff, that is the most concerning thing to me, just because I feel like at this point you know what Trevor Lawrence is. Travis Hunter still, that's just going to be a year-long process, and it's probably frustrating that because we want Travis Hunter to do all the amazing things, but it's naturally going to take time. BTJ is the one where it's like, damn, we thought that you were going to be an all-pro, and now we have to rethink that. And if he's not that guy, then your entire offensive philosophy going into next year then has to shift.
Yeah. All right, who's the next team?
Next team for me, the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Such a disappointing season so far already. Jaden Daniels has been in and out of the lineup consistently throughout the year. he might miss next game or maybe a couple games after that. But his injury that he sustained against the Cowboys wasn't that serious. When I watched this offense, I was not in for them being like basically like having the best running game for the entirety of the year. Wasn't in for that, even with Jaden Daniels out. That's amazing. That's great. When I watched this defense, I also wasn't in for them being not the worst defense in the NFL, but one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and also one of the most like inconsistent defenses in the NFL. I wasn't in for their secondary being fucking throttled. I wasn't in for Marshawn Lattimore, who's the guy who I remember like vividly a couple years ago not being at least asked to this degree.
He was a star.
Yeah.
They thought they were trading for a star, and he has not been great. And they have one of the oldest rosters in the NFL with an old-ass defense, an unathletic defense outside of some key stars like Frankie Louvu. And it's not a good defense, right? That was kind of expected to some degree. Nobody was thinking this was going to be a dominant defense that changed their lives, right? They signed Von Miller before the season started, and he's supposed to be like their main edge rusher. Yeah. It's not a great defense. Shouldn't be. The offense is what's confusing. Jaden Daniels is what's confusing right now. Obviously, he's been hurt in another lineup. That sucks, right? That's going to ruin your ability to be consistent. He is struggling in small ways that are adding up, and there's small ways that he didn't struggle in last year. Some of the they throw a lot of slants in this Cliff Kingsbury offense, and there's been so many times where he just like misses.
Yeah,
and it's not the worst miss in the world. He's not sailing it over people's heads, but he's slightly off on a lot of tough catches or the middle of the field where he throws it maybe a little too hard right on the defender's shoulder, so he can't quite make the catch on a tough window instead of leaving it out ahead of him a little bit. Maybe there's a stop route against his zone. He throws to the ground or a little bit above somebody's head. There's just all these weird plays that the offense is moving, and then Jaden Daniels slightly messes up, and it gets things going weird. When last year, accuracy was his superpower. Jaden Daniels was amazingly accurate last year. That's why people have jumped to say this is a guy, even as a rookie, is playing a top 10 quarterback in the league because he was tremendously consistent as a ball placement player. That's been a little off this year. And I guess that's not unforeseen. Like there's times where quarterbacks just have rough stretches, right? Where the accuracy is just slightly off. He's playing with a lot of new receivers too, with Terry McLaurin out for a lot of the year. Debo just missed this week. It's a lot of moving parts. So it's not insanely surprising that there's some rustiness here with all these factors in, but it's still confusing.
Yeah, it is confusing. And we'll see like for the rest of the year, but he got hurt in week 2 also.
Yeah.
And so you probably, like for the rest of the year, he's probably going to have to deal with that. And for all the things that you just mentioned, working in, and him and Terry had great chemistry last year, but you kind of have to reintegrate that because he wasn't there for training camp. You had a new receiver. You're playing with Jalen Lane and Chris Moore and all these other guys. Like damn, what's really going on? I think like with the Commanders last year, and this was also something that was very, very easy to see. It's like you converted on 87% of your fourth downs.
Insane.
That's just not going to happen this year.
And your record in close games, that's flipped a little bit.
Yeah.
We talked about it. We weren't high on them. Like we did our top 10 contenders. We didn't put them on there. We talked about like this team is due for some regression. That was like a common opinion. Everybody knew, right? We weren't breaking new ground by saying we don't expect the Commanders to be as good as you would assume they'd be just because they were good in their first year with this core, right? This is clearly a team that wasn't a guarantee to have sustained success. It's just the ways in which they're struggling is a little different than we thought.
Yeah.
But also the same to what you said. Like also that stuff was unsustainable.
Yeah, they're right now they're 19th in the league in fourth down conversion percentage. Yeah. Which is obviously if you go from the greatest mark of all time to barely above the upper third, that's gonna change, right? This is gonna change how you operate. You've already missed your starting quarterback for some games. I think nothing has been smooth to start this season, and so to have all of the in and outs of the lineup that you have, to have this defense that we already thought wasn't going to be good, and you were going to be old. Yeah, we'll see what's going on there. I'm glad that they've been able to to find Bill and have that rushing element to their game, but they haven't had the opportunity, and I'm going to give them a little bit more grace. They haven't had the full opportunity to really get going into the season. Yeah, but because of that, we're in week 8. Right, like
time's ticking.
Yeah, you're not gonna have 4 weeks in the middle where you have another training camp to get everything on board. You have to get it right now, and it doesn't feel like they're gonna be able to do that. especially if it's a hamstring that keeps Jaden Daniels out even one more game.
Yeah, so I guess this one's relatively simple, but it's still confusing because we don't know if they're going to make the playoffs or not. We don't know if we should think about this team as a team that's going to be, I don't know, contention is the wrong word because I think they're just not in contention
Playoff
in a real
contender.
way. But yeah, like, are they going to be relevant in the playoff picture? Are they going to be something we got to think about in the matchups and imagine them playing against these teams? I don't know.
Yeah, right now they just feel like one of those sneaky teams that you just can't necessarily not bat an eye to them at all. And I also feel like it's pretty unfair or somewhat unfair for someone like Jaden Daniels to have to hold the helm of the entire team basically on his shoulders if the offense is or if the defense is going to like give up 27, 30 points every single night, you know?
Yeah.
That shouldn't necessarily be the expectation. It's also considering that with his, like, I agree with you, he had like plenty of good passes throughout the entire year.
Yeah.
But also there's been just clear like flyers, you
Yeah,
know?
no, he's been good overall. He hasn't been bad or anything.
Yeah.
But he's just been inconsistent in ways you don't expect from him specifically.
Yeah, and then on top of that too, he's not receiving any help from playing with a bunch of, I don't know, wide receiver 4, 5s, and 6s out there too. That just doesn't feel like there's like no separation being allowed on these plays, and so there's literally less room for or margin for error as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens to them.
Remaining
Donovan.
games, they have, we're going to find out. They have the 8th hardest schedule. They have 2 games against the Eagles, a Lions game, Broncos, Seahawks, and Chiefs.
They play the Chiefs next week, I think.
Yeah.
They're gonna get
they play the
throttled.
Chiefs next week on Monday night.
Maybe with Marcus Mariota. We'll see.
Jeez.
Tough.
All right, Donovan, what is the last team we're talking about today? In which division's left? The North. What is the NFC North team you want to speak about today as being confusing to you?
Obviously.
I wonder which one.
It's the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
2 weeks into the season, we're like, hey, man,
Yeah.
this team is going to win the Super Bowl. They're clearly the best team in the NFL. And right now, we kind of have to walk that back because it does not feel like that. But also, you could make the argument, like, are they still the best team in the NFL?
I wouldn't say that, but you know what? So you said walk that back. I'll let you keep going about why they're confusing. I'm not walking back being like in on them being potentially a top team.
Yeah.
Because they still have a good record and they're clearly so far away from what we think they could be. So they're like on pace well, but nowhere close to being ready.
Yeah. And,
Whatever that means to you, however much confidence that instills in you, that's where they're at.
yeah. And that's what I mean when I say walk it back, because in week 2, it was, okay, you are far and away the best team in the NFL. And now it's looking like, okay, like you're still at the top, but are you a tier better than everybody else?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Can
right?
you beat the Eagles? Can you beat the Chiefs with your current flaws?
And can you get got right now? It looks like you can get got. And so for a lot of them, and here's why they are confusing, is because they offensively also wait, pull that graphic up real quick. Anytime that you get this meme from a team, yes, NFL fans are dramatic, but there's always just a little bit of truth to it. And we've talked all year about the offensive inconsistency with the Packers. And the confusing part about it is like they do it to themselves.
Yeah.
And why are you doing this? And what I mean by that is they, on paper, you look at all the metrics, they're top 10 in basically everything, right? They're starting to find their footing in their running game. It wasn't great to start the year, but it's getting a little bit better. But they are trying to play a style of offense that is very similar to the Eagles and to the Chiefs, which is, hey man, we're going to take a long time to call plays. We're going to be great in situational football. And that's just not really, this is not something that you would expect from a team that doesn't have either Mahomes at quarterback or AJ, Saquon, Devontae, and all this other talent. And so you think that like you would just let your system work for you, and they're not necessarily doing that.
Yeah, you know why that system works is because in those systems they do that to stay ahead of the sticks and have a high success rate and be able to be in advantageous situations on third down, and they feel good about the ability to convert. Because the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, he will make it work in the short area on third and medium and third and short no matter what. And because the Eagles can push Jalen Hurts' ass up the middle of the field every single time it's third and 2 or shorter.
Yeah.
Those are advantages in third downs. This team has been just weird on third downs because if they get to third and long, you have the utmost confidence in the motherfucking world that they will convert. They create these chunk plays. They have a lot of guys that are very good vertical passers. That's supposed to be the big play crux of this offense. And it's been working on third downs. They have a high success rate on third and long. Third and short, they do not know what to do because Jordan Love is not a particularly proficient short area passer, I think. And, we talked in the past couple of weeks about how the running game hasn't quite gotten going because of injuries early in the year to the offensive line. That I think have gotten good now, but it's just been a weird year as a running attack, right? It hasn't quite come together. Not for any fault that's like systemic, I think. It just hasn't happened yet. And the short game is not where Jordan Love thrives. And that is not where the offense thrives. They do not have these type of guys that you have for the Chargers, 3rd and Keenan, where Keenan Allen's going to get open on an out route somewhere.
Yeah.
They don't have those type of receivers. And Jordan Love is not Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to diagnose the play like that and draw up the type of things to be consistent there. They struggle so hard on 3rd and short for some reason.
Yeah, and then I think their offensive line, I'm not questioning them so much, but I believe that's a part of the reason why they go ahead and struggle on those types of situations. And going back to like team as a wide, from what I see, their defense is great. Their defense is weird though as well, considering that I feel like their defense stays on the field a hell of a lot of the time, but they don't allow as much touchdowns as well. They don't allow much opportunities for explosive plays to happen, but within that same offensive philosophy too, they're on there a lot, which also means that they don't give their offense enough opportunity to do a lot of those things that kind of handicaps that Jordan Love isn't necessarily good at right now as well. So it feels like this team overall has like huge swinging pendulums that don't give them necessarily like a favor.
I think it's actually the inverse of what you just described, because you mentioned that you saw there's a large time possession for the defense. Yeah. And it's like, okay, so the offense doesn't have a chance. It's the opposite. The defense is on the field all the time because the offense isn't creating long possessions. So you're making it hard on your defense that is great still, right? They're not performing poorly. There is some questions with the cornerback room.
I think
outside of Nixon, the weakness that we thought would be this team's weakness before the season is still their weakness. Their cornerback room can still be attacked. Nate Hobbs, I don't know if one got it anymore. It hasn't looked too great. But, we know the strength of front seven. We know the strength of safeties. They should be a good defense still. They're not being given any favors right now by this offense.
What the confusing part of the defense, and like what we saw for the first 2 weeks, like they were getting home. Like they were sacking Jared Goff. They were getting to Jaden Daniels. They were creating so much pressure and converting on those. The rest of the year, it hasn't necessarily like been there. They've still been getting pressure, but they haven't been finishing the play.
Yeah, and not like when they were dominating the Lions.
Yeah, and this last week, Michael Parsons, he got 3 sacks, and so like that is very exciting to see. But you're right, like their defense is still good, but they're getting walked down.
Yeah,
and they like right now they are 24th in the league in opponent plays per game. They are on the field a lot.
What's their plays per game on offense?
I will check that right now. But that's also like
it's
part
low.
of
Gotta be low.
And like I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's part of the problem, because they are towards, where are they? They're middle of the pack. They're 18th in plays per game. But
that's not good for where they need to be. Yeah, that's bad. It's a problem.
The plays per game is not where you want it to be, and them and the Bills are 2 of the other teams that we're talking about being confusing. They take so long to get these plays in, right? Yeah. The Bills are dead last in plays in seconds per play. The Packers are 25th. The Eagles, who also do this, 29th. When you are taking so long and you are minimizing the amount of plays that you're running, you have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And like you're playing this style of football that relies on you winning the turnover battle, winning the explosives. If you're not creating those explosives, that's a problem. If you are turning the ball over, that's an issue. And if you are not converting on 3rd down or converting on 4th down, and now one single mistake feels so much bigger than what it should be, because you're just not using a lot of tempo, you're not using a lot of pace, that puts you in a weird position.
That's a good point, because their games they're winning these games, right? But it feels like nothing comes easy, because they just never have enough points to put these teams away when they're defending well. You look up at halftime, and it's like, why do the Packers have 6 points against the fucking Cardinals? Yeah. What is happening? And it's because a few small plays don't go their way, because they don't convert these easy 3rd downs. And that is the only drive they get that quarter, so there's not a lot of bites at the apple. Yeah. And it just makes it so it feels worse than it really is, I guess is the thing, is that play by play, they're mostly fine, and then they're not when it matters, and then now they don't have a chance for a while, and you have that bad taste in your mouth. There's not enough time, not enough opportunities. They're close to
what would
good.
help that? If their defense could like also like create some takeaways. They're one of the worst teams in the league. I think it might be like a 3 or 4 way tie. They're like 31st in the league when it comes to creating takeaways. And I think a key advantage to like having elite offense is, of course, your defense helping you out and giving you extra opportunities of possession of the ball, which goes back to what we were trying to say.
Yeah, I think this, there's a lot of teams that have kind of adapted this like Chiefs way and this Eagles way of offense, which is, and I think like because of those two, and also because a lot of teams are, you know, playing these two high shells and you're not throwing the ball all over the floor and all over the field, and you want to be able to just march down. It just puts a lot of pressure on your offense to execute at the highest level. And if you really have that level of belief in Jordan Love, one, let him cook and let him, like, he's at his best when he's like, all right, Matthew Golden's down there somewhere, right? Romeo Dobbs is down there somewhere where you can get those explosive plays. And the confusing part about all of this is, do you think that their lock-in factor, which at this point has been outstanding? You mentioned the third downs. They are the number one team in the NFL when it comes to fourth quarter scoring. They're scoring over 10 points. They're scoring like 11 points in the fourth quarter. Every other quarter, they're scoring like 4 or 6. They're right around middle of the pack. Fourth quarter comes, they're like, all right, like we really shouldn't be in this game. Let's score.
When it's hard, they're really good. When it's easy, they're just slightly too inconsistent.
But let's not make it hard.
Exactly.
You don't have to do that, because you do have all of this talent. You have a talented quarterback. You have one of the better offensive minds in the league. You have a defense that's playing very, very well. We don't have to do this, right? So I that's the question for Green Bay is like, can you make things easier on yourself?
Yeah. And speaking to that too, I also feel like this team, I haven't checked the stats just yet, but just eyeballing, having them be the fourth team consistently on my box, it feels like they get a hell of a lot of penalties too, which attributes to beating yourself, which is like a number one factor to beating yourself.
Yes, they do have a lot of penalties.
We're describing a lot of things about this team that they are not broken like some of these other teams we talked about. They are not mired by talent deficiencies like some teams, like my team that we're not talking about today, because they're not confusing, they're just understandable. This team is so good and is so capable of being better than this. And, you know, that's not crazy. Week 8, and a team that still is young, one of the youngest teams. They added Micah Parsons, that kind of vaulted him into contention for us because the talent level is so berserk. But they're still a young team figuring it out. It's not crazy that they're not operating at 100% come week 8, right? Yeah. That's to be expected to some degree. What does it look like come week 13? That's when we're really going to have conversations.
Facts. And to your point, just looked it up. Where do you think Green Bay ranks in the NFL in penalties per game?
Penalties, I would say 3.
27. They are 29th.
Oh,
the 3 teams below them, Denver, Chicago, and Jacksonville.
You were basically right.
Yeah, I was right.
You were doing
right.
You're fourth in it, right?
Yeah.
29th.
Wow. Yeah. So they like the other teams in that one are teams that just last week we were like, these teams are undisciplined as hell. They're still learning. They're inexperienced. All this stuff, and it's the same thing.
Where are the Chargers?
The Chargers are. What do you think?
Packers are 29.
Yeah.
24.
21 for the Chargers.
Okay. Yeah. These backup tackles make me want to fucking pull my hair out.
It is 7.7 in the last 3 games. So that puts them chips. All right. So whatever, but it does put them at like towards the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, these backup tackles are killing me.
Yeah.
But all right, that is our most confusing team in every single NFL division. 8 teams that we're looking at and saying, I don't know what you are yet, but I'd like to know. Basically, the theme of this is we are noticing over the next few weeks, and we will decide what we think about you guys as the year goes on.
A big noticing episode.
Yep.
Keon, call me, please. Keon, please.
I got some bad news for you. I got
Don't
bad
get
news for you.
buddy. And with that being said, it is time for TikTok time. Mo's putting his crayon in the air. Probably gonna munch on it.
You are home. Munch on them, grab them, warm them up, fry them. Me personally, I'm baking mine. Might be air fried.
Healthy guy. Okay.
Smothered crayons.
No added oils. Let's go.
I like the crisp on mine.
No saturated fats.
We munching. Let's go.
Let's go to TikTok time. Let's see some crayons. Welcome to TikTok time. As always, we can begin by recapping this week, sorta. We are going to pick the biggest winners and losers of NFL Week 7, as we always do. Donovan, who is your biggest winner of the week?
The biggest winner is Twitter offensive coordinators.
Okay, what the hell does that mean?
There's so many times where people on Twitter are like, why are they not running this? And in this specific instance, everybody in Philadelphia has been telling Kevin Patullo, you get under center and you see what happens. And they did it, and Jalen Hurts dominated. The Eagles dominated. We're back up. Legendary day, career high from Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown, 120 yards, two touchdowns. Everybody was eating one of the best passing games from Jalen Hurts in his career, all because you listened to Twitter and you went under center.
Yeah, the under center drop back, which Jalen Hurts has never done. So I guess he was concerned that maybe he couldn't do it. He can, and he can throw that deep ball. It's finally activated. And you know what's funny?
Put the word out. We're back up.
But we're back
up. You laughed at me last week. We're back up.
Slow down.
What was nice about it is there was I think it was the first touchdown to A.J. Brown. He didn't even run a fucking route. He just ran forward, grabbed the corner, and was like, I'm big, and ran forward and beat him. It just was physical and huge. It's hard to run that type of offense where I'm just bigger and better than you. If there's ever a team that can, it is the Eagles passing offense. They finally got back to that.
Wow.
No route on a 4th down.
Yeah, it was bullshit, but it worked.
Who would have known? Your big beefy ass wide receiver can just manhandle whatever corners on him.
I wonder if that was called. Is he supposed
Surprising.
to run a stop or something? And he was like, man.
I have no idea. Now, for next week, let's see what happens again, because I have no idea.
Yeah,
I might be a loser next week.
That's the part. You're a winner for now. Don't get too happy. You can't get too confident in the Patullo Jalen Hurts combination of a passing attack.
My first winner, Kelvin Shepard, the Lions defensive coordinator. He has a bunch of backups playing like Hall of Famers right now, bro.
He's got third string corners playing Hall of
Through
Famers.
all the injuries that they've been faced with, whether it be Terry Arnold or all these guys, he has their defense nipping every single wide receiver, snuffing out every single pass, making the most just needle-threading plays ever. And that's been the leading cause as to why this Lions team has looked like goddamn actual contenders, Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, I think he might have ended the Baker Mayfield MVP buzz last night by himself. He called a great game, had Baker Mayfield in hell. He couldn't push the ball downfield like he's been doing all year. They sat on those routes, made it really difficult for him. On top of some bad throws from Baker's, wasn't his best night, but bad nights come because of high pressure defenses, and he did a fantastic job.
Shout out to the Lions, man. You're getting big plays from Jahmyr Gibbs. You're locking people up with third stringers. If they can have one healthy winter, they can get to the Super Bowl.
One of my winners, Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy managers.
Dude, hell
he
yeah.
went berserk. A 70-yard touchdown. I feel like you don't see as many of those as you used to, of these big plays down the field from running backs. Every time you see it, it's just like, happy for whoever gets to reap those benefits. Good for him.
This is what life is about.
Yeah. This is why we play the game. 36-yard performances from our running backs.
Love that.
God damn, man.
You know what's funny? He had 36 in like almost the first half. I had him in one of my leagues. I was down by 44.
What?
I came back. I was down by 8. I was like, surely he can give me 8 in this quarter and a half.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers offense had so little motion that they barely used in the rest of the game, and I didn't make that comeback.
Damn.
Baker Mayfield when I catch you. Other big winner, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You have been
Ooh.
saved from the gulag. You
Yeah.
are back to playing real football with a quarterback who will at least throw you the ball and let you win. And my God, did they win this week. They went out there. Jamar Chase had so many receptions, I felt like I was watching a glitch. I felt like I was watching a Madden player who knew an exploit route that just he continued to run over and over again. Like we knew we had a 99 overall against a bronze cornerback, and we exposed it. And that's what Joe Flacco can do.
Yeah, that was one of my winners. The Oak Bowl. A lot of times, right? Listen, we made the joke. People were calling it the Icy Hot Bowl. Sometimes we make fun of things. We hype things up on Twitter and online, and it doesn't always it doesn't match our expectations. The Oak Bowl was everything we could have asked for. It restored the feeling. Everyone was like, we haven't seen quarterbacks play like this in a decade.
Yeah. And the Bengals wore the white jerseys, the coolest ones.
It was a whole whiteout in the stadium.
Exactly. Everyone's like, are the Bengals cool again? What?
Yeah. My first winner was going back to the Unk Bowl, Joe Flacco. He has proven to still fucking have it when it comes to doing the most simplistic things ever. That's amazing. They couldn't do it.
Third week in a row, he said Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco can't stop winning.
He can't.
He can't at all.
Yeah, exactly. He showed that even though he's not like good per se, there's a certain level of being a veteran quarterback from that era that you have a certain level of competence by being able to read a defense better than a lot of these young quarterbacks do these days. That it's perfect for a team that just needs somebody who will get the ball to their skill players.
This is what Brady be talking about. He said these young guys, they don't know how to play
Some
quarterback.
RPOs. Ugh.
They don't be slinging it like that no more.
They don't.
Lies.
Nope. Shout out to the biggest winner for me, second biggest winner after those guys, Devontae Adams. Finally got to feel the full effect of being fed by Matthew Stafford. many receivers from many generations have felt the effect of being his wide receiver one. It's a glorious thing to be given every single target every time down the field. And with no Puka, Devontae Adams felt that this game.
Just a wide receiver's best friend.
Yep.
Dude, that last game he had was so weird. His stat line was so weird too. He didn't even put up that many like receiving yards at all.
He had 2 red zone touchdowns. That's all that matters.
Yeah, he had
was
like
getting
40 or 35 yards.
Wait, it's only
crazy.
35?
Yeah, it was so low.
Really?
He had like 2 or 3 touchdowns too.
I think I just remember the touchdowns. I felt like it had to be more. I felt proportionally it had to be more because I felt like he was dominating that game.
And that's why people like playing with Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Because you can get your touchdowns and it could feel 35 yards can feel like 200.
Yeah.
So I do like that for Devontae.
Wow, it
Adams.
was 35 yards, only 5 receptions. I felt like it was
Yeah.
more. You know why I felt that way? Because it was 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. Just missiles to the heart.
I was
Yeah.
watching it. I didn't even look. I was like, oh, he's eating. It had to be 10 receptions. Never mind. He didn't get force fed, but he got it where it mattered. I take that winner back.
Yeah.
Love that.
He just
No, I
played-
know. He's still the winner.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
My next winner, Bo Nix agenda pushers. If there was ever a time where it's been kind of shaky to start the year, but you mount a fourth quarter comeback like the Broncos did. You scored 33 points in the fourth quarter. You have a rushing touchdown the way Bo Nix did. If you are trying to say that Bo Nix is going to be a top 10 quarterback and Sean Payton is holding him back, Sunday was your day. That is the foundation for your entire argument. And shout out to you because you're up right now.
For the next 7 days, you have bragging rights. And honestly, the NFL is all about taking advantage of your 7-day windows to talk shit because you never know what's going to happen the next week. This is your week.
Exactly. Life comes at you fast. So enjoy Bo Nix top 5 quarterback talks while you can.
Yep.
My next winner, Mike Vrabel. There's nothing better than a sweet, classic revenge game, comeback game. I was not the problem game. Look what happens when you go ahead and give him like, is Drake May like hurt? Is he out for?
I don't know
Like
if he's in
next
this
game or
game or not.
whatever?
I haven't seen anything
No.
about that.
Yeah, not sure. But look what happens when you give him a competent front office with competent players and a star quarterback who's ascending.
Yeah.
Crazy things.
Winning
Also-
games left and right.
Also, along those lines of it's not my fault, big winner, Brian Callahan. Got fired, got to have a successful hate watch, saw the Titans lose by double digits again. And he could say, listen, it wasn't me. Those guys just suck. It is not all on me.
Shout out to Quinshawn Judkins. Got the weekly Miami Dolphins stimulus package. If you have a running back in fantasy football that is playing the Dolphins, not only start them, trade for them in every other league you have because they will go stupid. Last week it was Kamani Vidal looking like a starting running back, getting over 100 yards in his first start. Now it's Judkins going insane. The Dolphins are where running backs go to thrive.
I can't believe it, man. They suck.
They're terrible. I hate them. They're the worst.
I do not like them.
On a similar note, not similar. Other big winner,
Mm.
Rashee Rice. The comeback that was romanticized to high hell. You would have thought that prime Calvin Johnson was walking through these doors the way they talked about him unlocking the Chiefs offense.
It's true.
They're right. They cooked. He's everything they needed. We knew that. He looks like a budding star, just like we thought they would. They fed him. They used him in the run. They had a little touchdown and a little shuffle, like jet sweep thing. I don't know what you call it. It's technically a pass. He cooked, and they look great again.
Another winner on that same front, Kareem Hunt. Didn't have a dominant game, didn't play well necessarily at all. But guess what? You can rest now. No more eyes are on you necessarily at all. You're not relied upon as a second back no more, or even at times throughout the year looked like the first back. You can rest now, Unc. Your knees can rest. Your career can solely set a sail.
Nice. I'm out of winners.
Okay. Colts fans, once again, you just keep beating the shit out of all these good defenses. They're just the best offense in the league. And like, it's going to take a while for people to like really give them that respect because of how different it is. They are the best, most well-rounded team in the AFC right now. And they just continue to destroy people. They continue to put their foot on the gas. Jonathan Taylor is, without a doubt, the best running back in the NFL right now.
He's in MVP talks right now.
Without a doubt, the best running back in the NFL right now. Tyler Warren, low-key, without a doubt, the best tight end in the NFL this season so far through these games with Brock Bowers hurt, George Kittle hurt. He's kind of been the best tight end in the league. Daniel Jones is playing like a Pro Bowler. He's probably here to stay. The offensive line is working. It's a great day to be from Indiana.
I cannot believe this. I really can't in my mind picture Daniel Jones leading the best offense in the NFL.
I can picture because I just saw it throttle my team, and it looked fully real. And Aronde Gadsden, breakout tight end for the Chargers. Shout out to him, big winner for this week. Oh, we got light skin Antonio Gates, regen. And last one, I got to give this guy a shout out because this guy is the punching bag of the NFL. Everybody hates him for solid reasons most of the time. DeAndre Swift, you've had 2 good weeks in a row. After the bye week, the Bears running game has been unstoppable. They're finally getting DeAndre Swift in a position that works for him to succeed. He's making the right reads. He's killing it.
Shout out to the Commanders, man. Making everyone look great. Community service.
Anybody, any more winners?
Nope.
I got
A lot of
losers, though.
winners.
Well, who is the biggest loser of the week, Donovan?
It's the New York Jets. You are 0-7. You keep losing.
Damn.
You keep losing. And until you find a win, you will be on my list. You guys are 0-7 right now.
Not only are they the biggest losers because they just simply have lost the most times, they are clearly the biggest loser. Justin Fields, you got benched for Tyrod Taylor in
Damn.
2025. I miss week 1 where we thought Justin Fields was going to have a resurgence year. We chose to believe in that 30-point, a good loss. I just wanted to believe in him. I wanted it to be fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, I was tentative about it, but I was like, good for him. I haven't said good for him in weeks.
This is, again, we're not even halfway through the year, and he's getting benched.
For Tyrod Taylor.
This is not going to end well.
It's already not a
Yeah, exactly. So,
Like, he'll start again, I'm sure. It's not over. Writing's on the fucking wall.
I'm sorry, Jets fans. This is the only time that we will talk about you is as the biggest loser in the NFL week in and week out.
Damn.
Tough.
How many more games until Aaron Glenn gets fired?
1.
No.
If he was 0-8, he's fucked.
Nah.
No, Logan, he might be. Like he could get fired today, and I won't be shocked.
What's the rest of the schedule look like, man? Regardless of losing.
It doesn't matter.
You're right. I don't know why I asked that.
It doesn't
I guarantee.
matter.
You know what? How many weeks are left for them? They played 7 games, so there's 10 games left.
Yeah.
There's gonna be 10 games I'm not favored in.
Nah, fuck.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who they play. I guarantee it. Next loser, pour one out. Mike Evans,
Oh my
1,000-yard
gosh.
reception streak is over. He's gonna miss a bulk of the season with a broken collarbone. 1, that probably hurts. That sucks. 2, RIP legendary streak.
Damn, yeah, it's officially over. Literally, I was hearing the broadcast talking about how it's a possibility you can go ahead and get that 1K yards over in a heartbeat, bro.
Yep,
Sad
yep.
stuff. Pouring out, again, not necessarily pour the full bottle out, but pour a quarter of the bottle out. Baker Mayfield's MVP odds. It's not completely over, but goddamn, he got neutralized, man. All that moxie, all that swag, all that toughness, that grit and grind, fucking nullified.
Especially with Patrick Mahomes dropping 31 points on the Raiders. Rice is back. They're only going to keep getting better. It's not looking good for the swaggy white boy case to win MVP.
Swag white boys again. Let's double up. Losers again. The New York Giants, man. Overall, the ball was going on, man. Jackson Dart, you just had terrible INTs. You give up a pretty much a impressive lead in a historic fashion, damn near. It's not looking good for this white boy winner so far.
Well, let's keep talking about white boys that are down bad. Trevor Lawrence. You felt that UK heat on your back. It wasn't great. You felt it pushing on the side right here. It didn't go well for you in London. Tough game where they got completely destroyed by the Rams defense. Shut down. Very little points put on the board in a season that every time some things go poorly for the Jags, even if it's not his fault, Trevor Lawrence catches the heat no matter what.
Welcome to being a quarterback, buddy.
All right, welcome to making $60 million as a quarterback.
Exactly.
And being the 20th best quarterback. It comes with some expectations.
Yeah. I will take, you poured out a quarter of the bottle for Baker Mayfield. I would take the remaining 75% of that bottle, and I'm pouring it all out for CJ Stroud's mental health.
Damn.
Every time that they cut CJ Stroud on the sideline, he looks like he's about to cry. He looks like he is having the worst time in the world because the Texans, week in and week out, their offense doesn't do anything. They're getting beat up. He's getting thrown on the ground. They are losing games. They're 2-4. And the CJ Stroud of 2 years ago that was leading the Texans to the playoffs, that seems a decade ago.
All right, well, while we're pouring full bottles, let's keep it going. Let's talk about players that the bottles have been coming out little by little. Now the full thing's out. Las Vegas Raiders as a whole. Geno Smith, you're probably not going to start for this team next year. Pete Carroll, you might not coach for this team next year. This might be a one and done for a legend type of season. It feels like there's 0 silver linings. Everything about this team is a disaster. What do you mean the Chiefs had more first downs in this game than you had plays played?
Mind you, they took out the starters in the third after the third quarter. No, they didn't.
I saw Gardner Minshew for the first time.
They didn't play in the fourth quarter, and you still couldn't score.
Damn.
0 points, less first down, less plays than Chiefs first downs. That's
insane.
asinine.
That is insane.
You had less offensive snaps than the Chiefs had first downs.
That doesn't even make sense. Fire everyone.
Because you had straight 3 naps and Chiefs the ball forever, pushing on the field. That's crazy.
That's insane.
Pete Carroll, I don't know what to point to for why you're doing a good job.
Who gets fired first, Carroll or Glenn?
Glenn, because he's Aaron Glenn. And
Yeah.
Carroll's going to make it through the year. But this summer, I don't know.
Yeah.
That still doesn't make sense. Like,
That's so hard to watch.
Well, he's Pete Carroll. You don't fire Pete Carroll in season after 1 year, just out of like respect level.
Yeah.
You don't fire Pete Carroll 8 games into a tenure. It does not going to happen. But you could make up a mutual parting ways after one season.
Snaps versus first downs?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my god.
That's nasty work, man.
Yeah. Keep thinking about that.
Okay.
Next loser on my list. After a winning play, a winning celebration, Steelers lineman Broderick Jones jumping on Aaron Rodgers. Good God, man. I understand being excited. You have like one of the oldest players in the NFL, one of the most valuable players for your team specifically, jumping on him. He jumped on him actually not once, but twice. First time Aaron Rodgers was chill about it. Second time he was wigging on him.
Yeah.
Getting pitched out like that. Embarrassing. What are you doing?
I wrote Aaron Rodgers for losing composure. He freaked the fuck out. He turned around. Stop rolling that fucking shit. He was so mad.
We would be mad too if a 300-pound man just dumped on you for no reason.
I only got so many hits in the tank. They're giving me a few. You better not waste one.
Exactly.
And that was a hit. He went down.
Yeah, like that could have turned out terrible, man.
Especially for his old ass. Like some dust could have popped out of his lungs.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't do that.
Very cut-worthy.
My next loser, Desert Dwellers. Because the Arizona Cardinals, who started 2-0, have now lost 5 in a row. They are 2-5. Everybody else in the NFC West is 5-2, and the Cardinals are 2-5. Their season is done. I don't care that Kyler Murray hasn't been there. Offenses low-key look better since he hasn't been there, and they keep losing games.
Damn.
It sucks for Cardinals fans right now.
Last one. I had to add a new team to this club that the Carolina Panthers currently occupy. Dolphins as an animal. Really, aquatic creatures as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
We've transcended Tua being a loser. We've transcended Mike McDaniels being a loser. We've transcended the Dolphins as a football team being a loser. We are now moving on to several species of aquatic animals being losers because of this team. Damn. It's not looking good for water mammals.
Your PR is down. No, man. Fuck. It's not even your fault.
We're coming for the whales next. They're next up if we get one more loss. They'll also be losers.
Mammals, we got to have a meeting.
Please.
Yeah.
Why am I seeing tweets about Max Crosby potentially the Cowboys trying to trade for him?
What? That doesn't even make sense. Why?
The Cowboys have reached out, apparently. I don't know if it's becoming a thing, but they're trying to make it happen.
I guess that doesn't mean none for
You turn Michael Parsons into Kenny Clark and Max Crosby?
They would be genius. That would be crazy. We'll see.
Hey, man.
They just reached out per Trey Wingo. We don't know if what's going to happen.
Jerry Jones Masterclass? Crazy.
Hold on.
That would be insane.
How many picks did it take to get Crosby? Like 2 and a third?
I have no idea.
Like
2 first and a third?
2 first?
It's Max Crosby. Yeah.
Wow, man.
That's probably
Why would they trade him?
I mean,
Why
that's
would
what
you want
Parsons should have went for.
Because they're fucking terrible and going to blow things up soon. And he's worth a lot of picks. And they need a lot of picks.
Ah, man, that's sad.
And he's in his prime.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Next thing we're going to do. We are going to see a series of quarterbacks, a list of quarterbacks that certain wide receivers played with over their career, and we have to guess which receiver we're looking at.
Yes, you guys are looking at these wide receivers and their QB history. Super interesting game. When I was putting this together, I was actually like throwing up mid to all my analysis of this, bro. So
yeah, some terrible lists. Let's see what you cooked up for us.
Okay, first wide receiver you have to guess. Their QBs were David Carr, Tony Banks, Matt Schaub, Sage Rosenfields, TJ Yates, Casey Keenum, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Speed this up.
That's a lot, man. Ryan Mullet, Tom Savage, Andrew Luck, Matt Hasselbeck, and Marcus Mariota.
Okay. At first, I was going to say DeAndre Hopkins because I see all these goddamn Texans, but it's not that because this is a guy that went to the Colts and DeAndre Hopkins never did that. So you know what this is.
Exactly. It's the original DeAndre Hopkins, Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson.
You are correct.
Yep.
Okay.
What a nasty list. What an insane list.
He should get 2 Hall of Fame jackets for playing with this.
2 Hall of Fame jackets is crazy, man.
Outside of Andrew Luck, who's the best quarterback you played with?
Matt Schaub.
Damn.
Him and Matt Schaub were going crazy. Matt Schaub made it to a Pro Bowl.
Damn. That's the best you got.
Dude,
Listen, man.
Shout out Matt Schaub.
Hey, they were hooping, though.
It was an era. I'm willing to give more of that to Andre Johnson, but it was an era.
Don't disrespect Schaub like that, Schaub.
I think I will.
Schaub had some weeks.
Sure.
God damn.
He had some quarters, man.
Yeah. The Houston Texans, man. What a crazy era. We talk a lot about the Browns QB list.
Yeah.
The Texans they weren't too far behind him for this era.
Is this the nasty? This could be the nastiest. We'll see. Towards
Now they get Andrew Luck. This surely won't be the worst one.
Yeah.
Well, he was washed, though, whenever he went to the Colts.
True.
Ben Roethlisberger, Charlie Patch, Dennis Dennis Dixon, Byron Leftwich, Michael Vick, Landry Jones, and Tom Brady.
L. Reader. Ben Roethlisberger.
Who's the player?
Okay, so a Steeler. I'm guessing that has to be an Eagle for Michael Vick, and then Tom Brady.
Well, no, because Michael Vick played for the Steelers.
Oh, it's a Steeler. Oh, he's okay. So we went with every quarterback to start any game, not a whole year. Okay,
You know this?
is this Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
You are correct.
Okay.
It's Antonio
The
Brown.
fact
I
that
thought
you
it was
threw-
going to be fast, man.
The fact that you threw in the backups confused me.
Of
I thought we were
course.
doing just their starting quarterbacks. I didn't know everybody took a snap with. So I was like, that is Dixon. Who is that?
If you got to play with him in, you are on this list.
Okay, yeah, that's not my mind.
Try
Went
to throw
completely
you
wrong
off.
way. Yeah,
Okay.
you did throw me off. Okay,
Yeah.
so really, it's Ben Roethlisberger and Tom Brady were Antonio Brown's quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try to throw you off. With
He's
Michael Vick,
spoiled.
too.
He was spoiled. That's an amazing situation for the best receiver in the league to have.
He
for
could have
someone.
had Derek Carr on this list, but he got traded to the Raiders and didn't even play a
Yeah.
snap.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Sad. Ooh, nasty list. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Hundley, Deshaun Kisler, Tim Boyle.
Kisler?
There's not
Jordan
even an
Love.
L. Reader,
Oh, I thought it was a Kisler.
Kaiser.
I
That's fucking
tweeted
hilarious.
a picture yesterday of our text conversation. He used like the wrong your, and everybody was like, "This guy's illiterate."
I do that all the time. I didn't even give a flying fuck. I was like, yeah, bro, you're not getting these AirPods back.
Tim Boyle, Jordan
Yeah.
Love,
Said,
Jarrett
"Kid, there's
Stidham.
no L.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Jarrett Stidham. Oh my God. Oh
Aiden
my
O'Connell,
God.
Brian Hoyer, Matthew Stafford. Okay, where does your mind go when you see this?
I start to think of TV. I start to think of Netflix and a series where somebody said, "I need to get out of here before I'm gonna lose my life."
Okay.
And I'm thinking of Devontae Adams.
This is Devontae Adams.
Okay. You got it correct.
Yep. The Matthew Stafford brings it all together. And then that era of backups for the Packers jumps out to me. Brett Hundley, Deshaun Kaiser. What an era
Oh
that
my
was.
goodness.
Oh my God.
Aiden O'Connell.
He didn't have-
Jared Stidham.
But man, this
Wait.
era from Derek Carr through Brian Hoyer, torture chamber,
Where did he play with Garoppolo at?
Raiders.
Mm.
Yeah, he started
Okay.
for them.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense.
Torture chamber, despair. I understand why he was sad and why he wanted to go play with his buddy Matt.
Yeah, he had to go back to Aaron Rodgers quickly. He was like, "Please."
Oh, you didn't even put the second Aaron Rodgers stint on here.
Yeah. So he's
I
like,
just
"Man,
put it-
please,
yeah.
Yeah.
just get me out of here, free me."
And that was worse. That didn't even go well.
Sad stuff, man. Oh my God. This list is dumbass long. Who is this player?
Oh my God. Schaub, Keenum, Fitzpatrick, Mallet, Savage, Yates, Hoyer, Osweiler, Watson, Murray, McCoy, McSorley. Who the fuck is that? Tannehill, Willis, Levis, Mahomes, Rush, Jackson.
Who is this receiver?
Mind you, I said earlier, Andre Johnson deserves 2. This guy deserves 3 Hall of Fame jackets.
Yep. This list is why he's in the Hall of Fame in my eyes, why he should make it there. This is DeAndre Hopkins.
You are correct. I see Malik Willis, and I was like, oh my God. Not such a throwback name, but I'm like, damn, bro, he really ain't making it.
This has to be the worst quarterback list of all time.
In terms of pure volume of shitters, it has to be him. Like, he's played with some great quarterbacks too. Like, he had a good year with Kyler Murray, obviously Mahomes, Lamar, and etc.
Yeah.
But the amount of bad quarterbacks he had to look in the eyes and say, I'm open, and say, I believe in you this week.
Mhm.
What a
And-
teammate.
And he played like full seasons with it's not just guys who like came in for a game, even though that with the Texans, people did just come in for games, but like GJ8 started a playoff game for the
Him and
Texans.
Brian Hoyer were rocking out for a while.
Tough scene, man.
Oh, man. Him and Case Keenum had some moments.
How long did he play with Kyler Murray for?
2 years.
2
2 years.
One good year, one I'm getting a little washed year.
Nah. Brock Osweiler. Tough, man.
Take me down memory lane. All these Texans quarterbacks.
Corner.
What an era.
I know.
High school was hilarious.
Jeez, man. You got Cam Newton, Taylor Heineck, Kyle Allen, Will Greer. God damn. Teddy
Say
Bridgewater.
it
Who?
L. Reader.
To be fair, Heineke is spelled weird, so I'll give him a pass for that one if you haven't heard it out loud.
I've never
Heineke's-
heard of him or seen him
Heineke's
in
a
my
weird
entire
name.
life.
Yeah, that's a hard name to read, so I get that one.
Yeah, PJ Walker, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, Justin Fields, Nathan Peterman. God damn, Tyson Bagnett. Caleb
Okay,
Williams.
Tyson Badgent, Caleb Williams. So, jumps out to me. This run of Teddy Bridgewater, PJ Walker, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, that's a very specific group of names in a very specific, terrible era of football. That is a post-Cam Newton Carolina Panthers. This is
Okay.
DJ Moore.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sniffed this out from a mile away. This is
Yep.
easy for you guys. Okay.
Yep. He had to deal with a whole bunch of terrible quarterbacks, went to the Bears, and it has not been any better since.
Okay.
Until Caleb. But they don't even have a good connection, so it's really not even that much better for DJ.
This is so damning for him, man. Well, not necessarily so damning for him, considering like these are good, or decent players.
Man, he got paid. I don't feel bad. He's good.
yeah, but he
Zach
never really
Jason.
necessarily got an opportunity to.
That was
thrive.
bad because you see Baker Mayfield, you're like, oh, nice. That was bad Baker Mayfield. That's
Exactly.
before he got good.
It's bad
That
Sam
was terrible
Darnold.
Sam Darnold before he got good.
Yeah,
It's going to look great in the future when those two guys are like, oh, they're top 10 QBs for a while. They were dog ass when they played with him.
Baker Mayfield was a defensive end when he was when he was playing for the Panthers. It was rough out there.
PJ Walker, that's a name. That's going to be a fun, like 20 years from now, when you say random players.
Oh yeah,
PJ Walker.
kids don't know about PJ.
No.
what does that mean?
I don't even know what PJ Walker for. I just saw him play once.
Oh my gosh,
Kyle Allen.
Y'all weren't tapped into.
He was like a third round pick or something.
Justin Fields.
Will Greer.
tough
Justin
scene.
Fields, he had his best season of his career with Justin Fields, ironically.
That's so weird.
Like by far.
I don't think any receiver in history is capable of that. Probably.
Nope. It is literally just DJ Moore that can say that in this world.
How?
They had a good connection.
He was good.
DJ Moore had a lot of yards after catch though in that season. He kind of went crazy. And Justin Fields fed him.
Next player, we got Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson, Mike White, Tim Boyle, Trevor Seaman, Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor.
All right, so all of these are Jets quarterbacks. I would have thought Garrett Wilson, but Aaron Rodgers isn't on here.
This is Garrett Wilson. You forgot Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
Is it?
Yeah, it is
Yep.
Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Damn,
Okay.
I did forget Aaron
Yeah,
Rodgers.
yeah, you're right. I was like, this has to be Garrett Wilson.
Zach
Who else
Wilson,
could this
yeah.
possibly be? Because Tyrod Taylor, that's from like, he's playing now.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson.
Okay, there you go.
Yep.
Is this the worst list?
Current
Pound for
Probably.
pound? Because he got
Yeah.
bad Aaron Rodgers too. They didn't have a good connection.
Yeah, probably the lowest quality.
I don't know. Pound for pound is tough just because Hopkins might still have one.
The volume, but he had good quarterbacks. This guy has had zero good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
There's been zero flashes here.
All right, that's fair.
Like there's no reprieve from the suffering.
Mike White was hooping.
I think this is the worst list, man.
That's your life raft?
This is the worst
That's not-
fucking list, man. Mitch Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Dak Prescott.
This is
Wild boy.
a wild boy, somebody who was saved from the system, somebody who was
Say from the system.
somebody who was adopted and
We got
brought,
him out the hood.
and brought him
What?
into a good home. This is the modern day version of The Blind Side. Shout out to George Pickens, who is now in a good home, in a good and happy home. And
Yep.
people who treat him nice.
Dak Prescott is Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott saved his broke ass life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that's what he did. Look at those
This man was
names.
out here with bad quarterbacks fighting it every week, just a trouble pass. And then he goes to Dallas. They're like, listen, it's okay. You're safe here. And now him and CeeDee Lamb having fun, scoring touchdowns together. He's having a career year.
He was lashing out, yelling at teachers.
You would be too.
He's not a bad kid. He's just misunderstood, right? We just have to put him into a good
the system
situation.
failed him.
That's nasty.
This is definitely George Pickens.
No, really high key? Like, hey, man.
The system failed him. Fucking Mike Tomlin failed him. There's that rule that everyone says, listen, if the Steelers move on from receiver, you don't want to touch them. They always fail. Until this guy.
Exactly.
Mike Tomlin failed him. We can say it now.
Matt Ryan, Matt Schaub, Ryan Tannehill, Tom Brady, and Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. Donovan, who
Jalen
went from
Hurts.
Brady to Hurts towards the end?
Listen,
Dipple
shout
dabble,
out
Matt
to him
Ryan.
because he was just trying to show everybody I can still play.
Mm-hmm.
And
Ring
he
chaser.
had, catches,
Catches.
right?
Was
Not-
it plural?
Yeah, it
Okay.
was plural. I don't know if he had.
This is a
probably-
cursed jersey.
It is.
Mhm.
This is.
I didn't even
Julio
know that
Jones.
existed.
This
It
is-
is Julio Jones.
this
You
is
are
Julio Jones.
correct.
Hey, man, these are easy. Then they're disgusting. They're disgusting. Shout out Matt Ryan. That was like 99% of his games. And
Yeah.
thank God.
I didn't even know the whole Eagles era for real existed.
No one did because it was for like 6 catches.
Yeah.
Is that too many? Like, did he catch 6 catches there?
I know we caught a touchdown. I watched it. I had to verify.
There you go.
He did.
Generally, if you tell me the over-under is 5.5, I don't know if it's over-under. I have genuinely no clue.
catches. I honestly can't
I might
remember.
be drastically
I think
Maybe.
it's over.
It might be a lot more. I'm just talking. But
Yeah.
like, if you told me it was 5, I'd believe you. I have that little memory of it.
Well, let's figure it out. That number 80 jersey is crazy.
Oh yeah, he wore number 80.
Yeah.
All right, what's your guess?
Total catches. How many games was it?
He played 11 games, started 4.
Started.
Oh,
4
okay. It's more than I
games.
thought. It's more than I thought. I thought it was a lot less than
I
that.
think he got
18 catches.
I
No,
think
that's
he
too many.
got
12.
14 receptions.
12.
11.
Oh.
Okay.
3 touchdowns though.
Yeah.
That's an absurd ratio. Shout out him.
11 catches, 74 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Solid.
All right, that's not bad.
Solid work.
See, and that's what you call a receiver, veteran receiver, knows where to be,
Ew.
knows how to play the game
Who would
the
have
right
thought
way.
Julio Jones is a season defined by touchdowns?
Ew. Speaking of touchdowns, Kirk Cousins, Sean Mannion, Nick Mullins, Joshua Dobbs,
The
Jaron
Pastronaut.
Hall, Sam Darnold, JJ McCarthy, and Carson Wentz.
Damn.
Are we gonna have to?
Think about this quality of the
Are we gonna have to save him too?
Oh, we definitely need to save Justin Jefferson. From Carson Wentz, I saw what happened against Eagles this past week. We need to save the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And listen, JJ McCarthy, you got about 2 weeks to prove to me that we don't need to save him from you. You're on fraud watch, but for now,
2
we'll give you a little bit
weeks?
of hope. This is Justin Jefferson.
You are correct.
Yep. Shout out
Easy.
Jaron Hall.
Dude.
Hey man, those Kirk Cousins years.
Who-
Cinema.
Who's the third best quarterback here?
Third best quarterback
Yeah.
here.
I mean, Josh Dobbs was hooping.
You keep saying this. Stop it. Enough of that.
The Pastronaut?
Enough of that.
No.
But it is Josh Dobbs. That's what's funny.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
I guess
crazy.
it probably will be JJ McCarthy. Hopefully, I pray to God it's JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he only played 2 games with them, and it wasn't pretty. Justin Jefferson had like 70 yards or something in that first one. So, yeah, I guess it's Joshua Dobbs.
Hey man, Justin Jefferson, go buy yourself another chain. Make yourself feel better.
Yeah.
This is
It's
nasty.
not about to feel good. Damn.
Oh my God. McCown, King, Navarre, Warner, Liner, Anderson, Hall, Skelton, Cobb, Lindley, Stanton, Palmer, Gabbert, Bradford, Rosen, Huntley, Murray.
Ooh, this is tough.
I don't know who half of these guys are. Who's John Navarre? I'm almost certain I'm not saying that right. I've never seen that word before. Carson Palmer, Blaine Gabbert, Sam Bradford.
I know
Okay.
who this is.
Do you know who this is?
Yes.
Yeah,
Let me try to
you
think.
got to.
Oh, is this Larry Fitzgerald?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is only him, bro.
Yeah.
He played with fucking everyone.
Yeah, I was like, who played the quarterbacks? I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Max Hall? My ball knowledge apparently is weak. I've only vaguely heard the name John Skelton.
Wow.
Sean King. Never heard of that name. Is that the guy on Twitter? Is that like activist guy?
Shock, I think so.
Wait, what guy?
It's a license guy everybody hates?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Wow. Hey, man. Every time I see a list like this, I'm like, maybe he does deserve to be a Hall of Famer for sure. This is why he's first ballot. Get
Yeah, I
him in
can't.
there.
I can't even blame you for not having the numbers.
Yeah. We're like, only 1,100 yards that year? Okay. Oh, John Navarre threw you the ball? Okay. Shout out 1,100 yards. Hey, who is that? Let me Google this guy. Who is John Navarre?
Bro, I had to Google.
Shout out Kurt Warner, man.
What do you think John Navarre looks like? Guess his ethnicity.
Hispanic. That's my guess.
Yeah, probably.
Hispanic.
Navarre.
Hell,
Yeah.
I'm just saying it that way, but this is not a Hispanic man.
Oh shit.
This is the whitest white boy I've ever seen in my life. It's
Navarre?
probably like Navarre or something.
Navarre,
Navarre. But yeah,
Jeez, man, he catches anybody.
The
he
Latin-
played at
the
Michigan.
Latin bias.
Yeah,
exactly.
Navarre. Whoa.
Next, this is a long list
All
too.
right,
Not
okay.
as bad though.
Colt McCoy, Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith. That's a specific era.
RIP.
RIP. That's a specific era for a specific team whose name has been changed.
Carson Wentz, Sam Howell.
Garrett Gilbert, Carson Wentz, Sam Howell, Brissett, Jaden Daniels.
Who is this receiver?
Oh, this is a guy who's been put through the woodshed, who dealt through thick and thin over the course of his career, made a late career star leap because he finally got someone who could throw him the ball. This is Terry McLaurin.
You are correct.
Yep.
You
Wow.
said late career star leap. He's
Yeah.
like in the middle of his career, you know what I'm saying? Like
He's 20. He's 30,
He's
by the way.
30.
That is also true.
It
That's also
took him
true.
7 years to have a good year because he had this
It
nonsense.
is year 7. That's crazy.
He's old. Last year was his breakout year with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I knew he was old. I just didn't. And for some reason, it just never clicked. I thought that this was like year 6 or something.
no,
It
he
was
got
wild.
drafted in 2019. And actually, so I said that he had 1,000 yard season, so it's not like he didn't jump up in terms of numbers, but I feel like in terms of respect,
Yeah.
it took him a while. He was getting those 1,000 yard seasons with these terrible quarterbacks.
I thought Alex Smith was like decent.
Not when he got
Army.
there. That was post leg reconstruction.
Yeah, when he snapped up his entire shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Tough. And that's the last one.
Damn.
That was a disgusting injury.
That was a disgusting list of names I just read. Next thing we're going to do, let's talk about number 1 overall picks in the NFL draft. Specifically, the last 15. I'm going to show you all of them, and we are going to put them into a tier list.
Okay.
Okay.
Mo, who are we starting with?
Let's start off with 2011 Cam Newton. Where does he rank?
This is a fun one because obviously I think he's one of the better number one picks in this era.
Mhm.
I don't remember. There's no champions on here, I don't think. So the bar isn't super high for S tier. He's an MVP
MVPs get S tier,
no matter what.
no matter what.
Okay, S tier.
It's
yeah.
like it's just,
Mhm.
and obviously it's only going to go to quarterbacks. But you see a lot of times, especially as of late, you're seeing all of these retread quarterbacks. Number one overall picks, it doesn't always work out. And so for Cam Newton to go in, be a franchise quarterback, get the Panthers to a Super Bowl, win an MVP, that's S tier. That's one of the best case scenarios that you can hope for when you draft a quarterback number one overall.
Yeah, you have the peak when you're individually talented for those years where he was completely in his prime, had just enough weapons, body didn't break down yet, and you have just enough team success making that one run where you go almost undefeated, win a Super Bowl. There's no argument to not put him S tier.
Exactly.
Okay. What about next up? 2012 Andrew Luck.
This is interesting. Obviously, less success, didn't make a Super Bowl, couldn't make a deep run because his team was god awful. They gave no offensive line, terrible defenses, got hurt, retired early. So, like on paper, it doesn't stack up to what Cam Newton did, but he's just as damn good. He's just as good as Cam Newton.
Does he
Some
clear the
might say
gap?
better.
I would say better.
Some
than
might
Cam
say
Newton.
better. And from my money, he had a deep run. He got to the AFC title game.
He did.
And so you have that. He was failed by his team. I have to put Andrew Luck as they don't understand.
They don't.
They're not going to know.
I'm okay with that. Honestly, who cares? There's
Wow.
not a ton of team success on here. They're drafted number one for a reason. These teams are god awful and a lot of times don't turn it around super fast. I took it back from Cam Newton. This is the best player on this list, I think.
Wow, man.
The best offensive player on this list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of shocking me. I was assuming you guys are going to put him in A tier, but apparently
Yeah, I
he
guess
was
because
like
the on paper stuff isn't
I'm
quite
sorry.
there.
The talent was too high.
For this
Okay.
list too, I don't give a fuck about their legacy or too much. You know, like if they did jack shit, sure. But for this list, and everybody's kind of middling, I'm okay with going talent.
Yeah.
that. Okay. What about Eric Fisher?
2-time Pro Bowler, champion. So if you draft a tackle, you can start for 8 years and help you win championships with. That's pretty goddamn good value.
So, I mean, what? You think
A.
it's A?
You have a franchise tackle. He was never like the best tackle in the league or anything. But when Mahomes got there, the team was good enough. He was making Pro Bowls. He started for championship teams at the second most important position on offense. That feels like A value to me.
But how much of that is,
Mahomes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we go B then. No, team success. You're there. You're valuable. You're incredibly important. We keep you around for a long time. But he's not Trent Williams. He's not Penei Sewell. He was never talked about as one of the best tackles. He was just like an above average good starter,
Yeah.
which is extremely important. Not necessarily happy with that for number one pick, but that's also like a super weak draft.
I mean, if the bar's already low because the draft is weak, I'm
Actually, is it a weak draft? Make sure I'm remembering that correctly.
was that 2013?
Yes, 2013.
No, man, that's not a weak draft at all. It's not a weak draft at all, I don't think. But it wasn't a good quarterback draft.
What's the weak draft? Because there's a weak draft in one of those. I can't remember. Either
No, I know it is. I was right. Yeah. It's the worst draft of all time. It went Eric Fisher, Luke Jokel, Deion Jordan, Lane Johnson, Ezekiel Ansah, Barkevius Mingo, Jonathan Cooper, Tavon Austin, D. Milner, Chance Warmack as a
shout
top
out
10.
to D. Milner.
Yes, that's the worst
Jeez,
draft of all
man.
time. I was right in remembering it. It's a terrible draft. B tier.
Jeez, man. Oh,
Hey,
my
sh-
God.
Lane Johnson still hooping.
I think we go B.
Yeah.
Next up, 2014 draft, we got Jadeveon Clowney.
Interesting one.
Probably like C tier.
Underwhelming, but
yes.
still really good. Got longevity. Didn't have the pass rushing bag to like dominate like he did in college. Great run defender. Stood around, kept the job for a long time.
Yeah, it's just hard when he was slotted as the number one guy, and then but the conversation was always like, do you take him or Mac? And so when you're not the best player at your specific position, it is tough. Never really hit like that high end of like putting it all together type of season.
But that's only because he was supposed to be what Myles Garrett was. Like he was supposed to be the dominant defender of a generation. So he wasn't that. But he had very good years.
Yeah, he was.
Is it overall, is that a C or a B?
I would probably go closer to B. He had good years in Houston. He was also playing alongside JJ Watt. Like,
Yeah. And he's his whole career has been a very good run defender. Which like people would overlook because you're draft number one to dominate the
all right,
pass.
if you're a fine starter, just go B.
I don't know how many Pro Bowls he has.
But I think Eric Fisher, he's a good starter on a championship team.
C
Maybe
it
fine
is.
starter is C.
All right, C it is.
Yeah. And how much are we baking in like compared to expectations? Is that you're holding that against him a little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Is that valid? Kinda.
A little bit, yeah.
It's a fucking number one pick.
And he only has 3 Pro Bowls.
3 Pro Bowls is a good amount though. So let's go
3
B.
Pro Bowls in like 10 years. He's still playing today.
Let's go B. 10 years career, 3 Pro
Fine.
Bowls. Yeah,
I guess so.
I was thinking it was like 1 or 2 Pro Bowls. Let's go B. Let's give credit to an overlooked side of the game. Nobody wants to talk about setting the edge. This is one of the best edge setters for a decade.
Jameis Winston.
That's a nice D
For content alone, I would like to put A.
because he's funny.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right. He is not a quarterback that you can win at the highest level with. To famously have a 30-30 season and to have like your best moments be just the wildest plays that you can ever make, and people love you because you are so erratic. But literally last year, you were talking about having to be saved by the Lord from pick sixes. That's pretty tough.
He didn't finish. He finished his first contract and became a career backup immediately. That's F tier.
F tier.
We get you through one contract and we say you cannot be a starting quarterback. That's fucking F tier.
Yeah, as the number one overall pick.
Okay, yeah.
Your 5th year option's over. You go in your 6th year and you're playing for the Saints now. That's F tier.
Yeah, okay.
That's easy.
Damn. I feel like, is he really F tier?
Clearly, it's not a conversation. He's easily F tier.
Yeah.
Is there any argument for him being D possibly?
I guess if you think there's somebody worse here, but I don't think there is.
Okay, never mind then. There's no one else.
Yeah.
Going up for it, I was gonna say there's no one else.
If Zach
worse.
Wilson got drafted number 1 overall and we had a spot for him, we want to differentiate him, then sure. But I don't think there's any more disasters on here like that.
Complete disaster to this degree. Okay, I understand. Next pick, Jared Goff. Interesting placement.
This is.
If you asked me 3 years in his career, I would have said D.
Yeah,
You ask me now,
I'm going A.
A tier.
that's crazy.
It's got to be A. He's a consistent starting franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And he has been for a while.
You've been to outside of, and mind you could just say that he's been in good situations with good offensive minds with McVay and Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell and all this stuff. He was also kind of ruined, or Jeff Fisher attempted to ruin him in year 1. Since then, he's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to an NFC Championship game. The Lions were the number 1 seed. Like, teams can win with Jared Goff as your quarterback. A tier makes sense.
Yeah, if you're a top half of the league starter for a long time, you're going to be A tier. It's the most important position. You're one of the more valuable players at it. Top 10 for, 3 years now? Easy A.
Shout out to Jared Goff.
Okay.
Shout out to redemption for Jared Goff.
Facts. They attached a pick to Jared Goff to get rid of him.
That's crazy, man. If he wins the Super Bowl, he's S. Easy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not even
sure.
a question. It's not even a question.
That if he wins a Super Bowl, like let's say this year, the Rams win, the Lions win,
It's possible.
which
It's very
is
possible.
super possible. He will have one of the more interesting legacies to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, to be consistent, like top 10-ish, you're not really, there's never a point where you were like, that's a top 5 QB. There's never a point where he was like an MVP combos, but he was very good at very important elements of the game and got it done. I don't know where that nets him. That's an interesting combo.
I mean, it probably nets you alongside Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame.
Eli Manning.
I don't know about that because his name isn't Manning and he didn't beat Tom Brady.
Exactly.
But yeah.
Weird circumstances.
But who would be better? That's an interesting conversation.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same guy.
Myles Garrett.
S tier.
S tier.
Easy S. Hall of
S tier.
Famer.
This is one of the greatest defensive players of all time.
Yeah.
This is after J.J. Watt and Aaron Donald, probably the best defensive player of post 2010.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, top 3 in the
that's
modern
true.
NFL.
Wow.
Yeah, and like you're winning DPOYs, obviously on your side of the ball, like that's your MVP.
Yeah.
As multiple of them. Yeah.
Yeah, probably a top 10 pass rusher to ever play the goddamn game.
That's the easiest, probably. That's honestly the easiest answer here so far.
Yeah.
Next player, Baker Mayfield.
Another fun one. Because
Yeah.
again, if you asked me after year 3, I would have said F tier.
Yeah.
The Browns thing didn't work out. Now he's a journeyman backup. What do you mean the Rams traded for him to start today? He was in the Panthers 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But now we're in year 3, I think, of him being a very good starting quarterback. In MVP combos, probably A, right?
I'm going B just because Goff has been to a Super Bowl and Goff has done this for a while now.
Do we care about that? Goff Super Bowl
Should that
appearance?
like
Because that was like when Goff was like mid. Like it wasn't exactly he carried the team to the Super
No,
Bowl.
but I still think that like it. I still think it matters.
Okay.
A little bit, and like Baker's been in these moments, and not to say that like these losses are like on him or stuff, but I really want to give that credit to Goff. I think for Baker, this is the first year where he's really, really elevated to, obviously MVP talks. I think B is fine because even though that he's moved around and he's redeemed himself, it's not all like, oh, the man was against Baker Mayfield. He also was playing poorly.
Oh, he got better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was bad. Like, yeah, it wasn't he was set up to fail. He was bad and got good. And I kind of feel like with somebody playing now, we're kind of like what they are now, like more than the cumulative effect, because he's not old. He's going to be doing this for a while. No reason to believe he's going to fall off. So I think we can do a little bit of projection and like take him for what he is now. And I feel like he's clearly a more successful player than Jadeveon Clowney.
Is he more talented than someone like Jared Goff?
Talented? That's a weird, hard conversation.
I think he is.
I'd say they're similar.
I think he's more talented than him.
He has the flashy high end talent, big playmaking ability. Jared Goff's talents are a lot more like conservative on the surface and reliable. Like, again, turn your back to the defense, making the right read. So to each their own about which talent you prefer. But I kind of view them in similar category.
All right. I mean, yeah, they probably, especially for the last couple of years, have been in the same area in terms of ranking. So we can put Baker Mayfield up there.
Yeah. And I just don't care that much about him making the Super Bowl while being the 20th best starter in the league with Sean McVay. Like Baker would have did that too, I think.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like there's like a...
Well, I don't know at that point. It was great, maybe not. But you know what I mean? Like it was... Goff was very replacement level that year. They traded him like pretty fucking soon after.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like they're in the same tier in terms of not output in their NFL career. Two completely different situations pretty much, except for like, of course, started out shit, got really good. But in terms of like where they're at how they're viewed league-wide, feels like they're damn near
similar trajectory. Yeah. And like it's also funny because Jared Goff had like the worst rookie year of all time. A Football Reference has a stat, I forget what it's called. It's called like value added or something like that. VA, I think it's the last thing on the far right. And it gauges how much like points you added in the cumulative year. He had a negative score in his rookie year as a quarterback who touched the ball every play.
Yeah, man.
Go find another negative quarterback. You can't do it.
That's crazy. That's that Jeff Fisher.
Go find another negative. I promise you can't do it. That sounds like you have to take a sack every play. I don't know how he did it.
That's crazy. Next player, Kyler Murray. This is going to be interesting too.
I'm going D.
D or C, just squarely mid. Like he's been a good starter. Injuries have derailed him a little bit in terms of like adding together years of being really good.
Yeah. But even within those years, there was always a fall off.
Yeah.
Like he would play well for the first 8 or 9 weeks. October would hit, things would get released. And then
I put Bryce Young up.
Things would get released. What do you mean? What do you mean by things would get released?
Call of Duty.
Oh. I was like, what's going on, man?
Yeah. So it's either C or D. I'm just trying to think of like the other quarterbacks that are coming up, how we want to separate those two tiers.
I don't think that Kyler Murray has shown for a consistent amount of time that he is he's right on that line of being better than the 18th best starter, but also not good enough to where you feel fully comfortable about him being your franchise player or your franchise quarterback.
Sounds like Seaman. Sounds like honestly C.
But it's also been kind of underwhelming because we're still at this point in his career and we're still
Yeah, but he's just mid. He's going to be mid forever. He's just always going to be the 17th best starter in the league or whatever. I feel like that's more C. I feel like D is like you're a negative, but just slightly, not a complete disaster.
Hey, man.
And I think he's squarely
somebody
neutral.
can make that argument.
I'm not really though. Like you can if you're a hater, but I think he's squarely neutral value.
Who am I?
Let's go see.
Okay. Next player, Joe Burrow.
Gotta be S, right? He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
Shout out Baker, shout out Goff. They are not one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Nobody would have that conversation realistically of being able to compete with the top 3 guys. Joe Burrow is being put in those conversations for a reason.
And to go and to turn around the Bengals franchise when they are cheap, notoriously losers, they haven't really protected you, and you get to a Super Bowl. All right, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, top 4 player on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Okay, easy conversation. Interesting name, Trevor Lawrence.
Is Trevor Lawrence a better pick than Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
I don't really see any reason to say yes to that. You might tell me they're the same and they're both C tier.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like Kyler Murray's at higher highs and maybe Trevor Lawrence is D.
I'm ready to put Trevor Lawrence in D.
But I'm also I'm open to C. Like he's not as, we probably exaggerate the weaknesses a little bit because the strengths aren't very strong. Maybe he is also squarely mid and should be C.
Trevor Lawrence, this is kind of like the Clowney conversation where I do have to hold expectations a little bit to Trevor Lawrence. And on the high end, it was probably unfair because they were talking about Trevor Lawrence as one of the best, quarterback prospects. And he's this generation's Peyton Manning or whatever.
Yeah.
But damn it hasn't felt good and it hasn't looked good either. And even now, whenever you get a competent offensive coach like Liam Cohen in, the team is still succeeding and it's not being driven by you. and your side of the ball. Like the run game is good and the defense is awesome, but even in this resurgence, you are not there.
Do you think he's been bad more than he's been mid?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Is that true?
I kind of think he's just mid. I kind of think he's like Kyler, and we want him to be so great.
Is he high mid or low mid?
Low mid, like low mid, but he's mid. And I feel like
is Kyler high mid or low mid?
Mid.
Okay.
So Kyler's better than.
I think they're same tier though. I kind of think Trevor's also C. He's going to be a starting quarterback for a while.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's a starting quarterback that you think can win.
Yeah.
Whether or not he ever has the lightning in a bottle run where he wins anything of merit, I don't know. I'd probably lean. I wouldn't expect it, but I think he'll start for a long time. That's probably a C tier quarterback.
I mean, that $55 million is going to keep him starting for a long time.
Probably. I feel like C is probably fair.
Sounds like he's C. Okay. Trayvon Walker.
Sounds like he's C. Sounds like another good starter that people will say wasn't the right pick. Solid starter.
Yeah, man. We have to start putting somebody in D.
I have.
That's what I'm saying.
I know what's coming, but he's probably C, right?
He's fine.
Just a very solid player.
And he's turned it into a very good player.
If he was the 9th pick in the draft, nobody would have an issue with it. It is remarkable that the Jags selected 2 completely fine, at best, number 1 overall picks in a row.
Where do you want to put Bryce Young?
That's what I was thinking with the D tier one. He has this year 3.
Yes,
he's had 2 years where he was the worst starting quarterback in the NFL, and then now and the end of last year where he's been mixed results, but I think mid overall. Kind of feels like a D tier resume to me so far. Like we don't have the sure thingness to put him to C. We don't know for sure. Like Kyler Murray's been mid for 6 years. We know who Kyler Murray is. Bryce Young could return to being god awful, and that wouldn't surprise me. Or he could also be mid and be C tier.
Well, there's a moment every single game where Bryce Young is god awful.
Yeah.
So if you have to bake that in and then say then you have to be great just to get back to mid, we're playing at a disadvantage. I'll go D with Bryce Young.
He has a very low floor every single game. Like things can go wrong fast, and you're always digging yourself out of holes he creates. Now he's done a good job this year of digging himself out of those holes, but the fact that we have to live like this, kind of feel like D. I kind of feel like I'm not sure if he's going to be a starter in 3 years.
Yeah, it was never supposed to. His floor was supposed to be high because he was supposed to be a very smart processor. You're right, a point guard type of quarterback. That hasn't been there. The panic level is off the charts with him. I'll go D.
Are you confident Kyler Murray is a starting quarterback in 3 years?
No.
Damn. Are you confident Trevor Lawrence is a starting quarterback in 3 years?
Yeah.
More than Kyler.
Are you confident Bryce Young is a starting quarterback in 3 years?
I don't know if he's the starter next year.
D tier it is.
Damn. I could see by the end of the season you put him in the C tier if he continues.
Yeah, he's got to earn it.
Yeah,
he's got to earn it. He's got to get the flashes have to be more consistent. Or actually, I should say the negative flashes have to be less consistent.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Caleb Williams? Where do you want to put him already?
I don't know what to do with him and Cam Ward. They're so early.
Yeah.
Like Caleb is not on the path to being S or A right now. Caleb hasn't shown the high end. Like there's obviously the physical traits and things we thought about him as a prospect that you never know. A is possible. He hasn't proven to be on A trajectory. So B would be projecting. C would be like what he is now, maybe.
Yes, if you're going off of last year would be D. Last year might be F. So you can give him a little bit of credit for this year, but I still think that early on it still kind of nets out to D.
Yeah,
You think so?
but I feel like with him and Cam Ward, we got to do some projection a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like Caleb Williams' floor is probably what Kyler Murray is. I don't see him being worse than Kyler. Do you?
No, because but that's also because I don't know if Kyler's floor is super high.
Well, just mean what he is now,
like,
not even necessarily floor or ceiling, just like what Kyler is as the 17th best quarterback or whatever. I don't see Caleb being one of the worst starters. I think he'll net out to being at average at worst, which would be a huge disappointment.
Sounds like you want to put him at top end to C.
Just see, I don't know, top
hey
end,
man,
whatever.
should we drop Kyler to D?
No, you hate Kyler too much.
Should we?
No, I just think we put Caleb in C, and C's crowded because there's some mid-ass picks in this decade.
But these are number 1 overall picks, and we're getting mid.
Yeah, but like what number 1 overall picks are like blistering off rip? Not a lot.
I think it's okay that
you
this
have to do projections.
It's okay. The skews positive. The number 1 picks for a reason.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Cam Ward, what do you do with him?
Again,
He's king. I can't even say nice fault because everybody's been bad this year.
Yeah.
What do we know about Cam Ward at this point through his career?
I know that he plays for the Tennessee Titans.
I know he's one of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah, I know he wears number 1. He wears red cleats.
I know he throws the ball really hard.
Yeah, strong arm. He's good at press conferences. Has already given us a generational quote. So
I think we just throw him in C and say we don't fucking know.
I think it has the potential to be in B though. Not
Maybe.
yet, obviously, but maybe
B-
like
B is
4 or 5
much
years
too
from
high.
now.
I don't
Not
even
right
know.
now. I'm not putting him B now.
But you
Hell
think that
no.
could be the ceiling one day?
Yeah.
I have no fucking clue. We're not going to rank Cam Ward because we don't know. This is actually the 4. Actually, no, we're just throw him in C. Because who the fuck knows? Or you can throw him in D if you want to just go off of what you've seen these first 6 games.
Yeah, because I mean, outside of like one drive where the Cardinals just handed the game over,
Yeah.
like they could also be 0-7. And granted, they did have a terrible head coach, but the week 1 where like everything was not Cam Ward's fault, there's been times this year where it is also his fault.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's just such a small sample size, such a disaster. A lot of these players had disastrous rookie years, so I'm not really holding it against them.
Mhm.
So I'll just throw them in C and say you were a complete blank slate. I don't know.
Okay.
Or if you want to reflect these 7 games, throw them in D.
yeah, especially like these last couple games, like some of the turnovers that have happened, I'm not a massive fan. It hasn't been a positive experience, right?
All right,
So
D tier it is because who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
It hasn't been good so far, so for the absence of positive evidence, we'll go D.
And that's the tier list. Is there anything that you guys want to do last minute?
Honestly, I think it's perfect.
Okay.
I would like to hate, but it's fine.
Yeah, we know, trust me. But I think it works. Maybe Trevon Walker is one we should talk more about, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I might.
Sorry, John.
Yeah, that's a tier list. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to play a couple of 5-level games.
Ooh,
What I'm going to do is
my favorite.
I'm going to name 5 NFL running backs. You tell me if for this season or going forward, however you want to interpret it, if you think they are better than Jonathan Taylor.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Jonathan Taylor's been cooking.
That's hard.
Level 1, JT versus Derrick Henry.
Man,
Shout out to Derrick Henry, man.
had a good run. It was
But Tom's
fun.
been passed this year.
It was fun. Not pass. Snatched.
Damn.
And it's really more about JT than it is Henry. Like, Henry's situation is weird. I don't really know what to think right now, but JT's clearly been better.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That's easy level 1.
Yeah.
Level 2, CMC.
CMC again has been fantastic. He's on pace for 1,000 yards, receiving yards this year. Crazy stuff.
He's getting crazy touches. The blocking hasn't been amazing for him, so you can't say like he's been the inefficient one.
Yeah.
But it is, you do have to produce a little bit, and not everybody can go up against the Falcons defense every single week.
Yeah.
So for right now, it still is Jonathan Taylor.
I agree.
Jonathan Taylor's averaging 100 yards a game.
Yeah.
It's Jonathan Taylor. Level 3, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs again.
My Shayla.
Explosive player.
Yeah. Probably a top 3-4 back in the league at worst.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan Taylor, far more complete.
Yeah. This
Jonathan
is
Taylor. You just can't. It's hard to compete with somebody this well-rounded.
Yeah.
And even as and like Jonathan Taylor, one of the things that he has over Jahmyr Gibbs, he does get all the touches where Jahmyr is split in time, and obviously like that's by design. That's not a knock on Jahmyr, but for Jonathan Taylor to be that back and get everything,
Yeah,
it
he has
is
more
nice.
burden on his shoulders. In that Chargers game, it was his responsibility to walk them down and keep that lead, and he did
Yeah.
it every single time.
Yeah.
Level 4, Bijan Robinson. Maybe the 2 best this year.
Yes, probably the 2 best. However, Bijan, he's been good. Just got bottled up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm going with Jonathan Taylor. Still.
More powerful runner up the middle of the field. Bijan's amazing on the sidelines. I think from all areas, I trust Jonathan Taylor on a 3rd and 2 a little bit more.
Yeah, I can definitely agree to that. But I think what separates the two?
Strength, really. But like Bijan's not weak, but like inside. So also vision. Jonathan Taylor's inside the tackle's vision is berserk.
Yeah. But
He has that. Bijan has
Bijan has great vision too.
yeah, and he has like shiftiness, but
Mhm.
also Jonathan Taylor's just like, hey man, I'm gonna just do what I do.
Yeah.
Right. So I do think. See, this is hard though because like both of them do have the burden of the offense
Yeah.
on them.
I think I could see Bijan passing him up, but for this season, Taylor's having a better season so far.
That is fair. Yeah.
Okay.
So if right now the tiebreaker will be these 7 games, but you can tell me Bijan's better by the end of the year.
Okay. Yeah, we'll still go JT right now.
Okay.
JT
Level
Barbados.
5, the guy who has the title for best running back in the league, Saquon Barkley.
It's over. It is over.
I mean, for this year, Jonathan Taylor has easily
Chain snatch. Jonathan Taylor's number 1.
chain ripped, bro.
697 yards in 7 games. He's the one.
That's what Saquon was doing last year.
Yeah, well, think about the old days.
Saquon, what happened, man?
The old days was 8 months ago. It wasn't even a year ago.
Hey, for a running back, that could be the old days real
no,
fast.
that's true. That's
300
true.
carries stacks up quick.
Damn, man.
Yeah, that 400 touch season is looking It's looking like it took a toll.
Yeah, we have Jonathan Taylor. Congratulations, you have won the 5th level. Doesn't happen a whole lot, but you did it.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't.
This is pretty easy too.
He's just kind of the best right now.
Yeah,
It's pretty
exactly.
undebatable.
Exactly.
Next one. We're going to do it again for receivers
Okay.
with one Jackson Smith in Jigba.
See, this is gonna be hard because I was watching that game last night and I was like, "Yo, man, this is Jerry Rice." I was like, "This dude is crazy."
That's crazy. Let's slow down.
Level 1, Garrett Wilson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I passed you in high school. In college, I passed you in the pros. I got it now.
Level 2, AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
I'm sorry. In terms of production,
Yeah.
it's Jason right now.
So much more well-rounded across all areas of the field. So much more reliable. So much better.
Okay. Isn't that?
Just want to see his facial
I know.
reaction. He said that's one too many words.
Okay.
Level 3, Amon-Ra St. Brown for just this season.
That's close.
These are the conversations we're getting into. We're getting into tier 1 talks.
That's close. But I'm gonna have to give it to JSN.
JSN's a better down the field target.
Yeah.
JSN can get vertical. JSN can truly win on the outside while also doing the short route running stuff that Amon-Ra does.
But is he blocking?
That doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
When you're mossy, folks.
No, I need to give Amon-Ra his credit because he's amazing.
And Jason also has a sturdy, strong build like Amon-Ra does.
Yeah.
Again, this is such recency bias. He was making Derek Stingley and the Texas defense.
It's recency bias until he keeps doing it, and it's
Yeah.
just who he is.
He made them look pedestrian.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best corners in the league.
Yeah.
I think for this year, JSN has broken the top 3 receiver talks. We
That's
can
great.
Go to the next level.
He's having a top 3 season, and I would justify it like that.
Okay. Level 4, CD Lamb.
Yes.
Someone who's considered number 3 in the someone who's considered number 3 in the world coming into the season.
He's had a better season. CD's been hurt. He's having a
He
top
got it.
3 season right now.
Yeah.
I'll take Jason right
That's
now.
an easy
For
conversation.
this season.
This is the convo I'm having right now. Who do I think is better long term, JSN or CD?
Okay.
And I think
I think
I
for
don't-
now it's JSN.
I don't know what side I'm on, but I'm leaning towards JSN.
Let's go, Jason.
I think he
Level
might
4.
be truly tier 1.
Are we gonna have 2 guys win the
Level 5,
combo?
Justin Jefferson.
All right, Justin. you
It's
got it.
over. It's
Yep,
over.
yep.
You got it.
It's
Shout
over.
out to you. Listen, we're not going to put too much dip on our chip.
No,
but
not
understand this is how good JSN has been this year.
I think it's Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and then we get into JSN and Puka.
Yeah.
That's the big 4 right now.
He's been
Jason
so
and
good.
Puka is so weird to talk about.
Yeah. Well,
So weird.
no level 6 today, so we'll say that comment
I
for another
know.
day. But JSN got to level 5 and lost.
Wow, he's been amazing.
He's incredible. Like we're truly not glazing. Like this is truly someone who broke into superstar territory and he just keeps ascending.
Where would you rank him last year?
Like in
well,
the teens, maybe.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
like last year we did our tier
Middle
list. I
one.
think we put him B.
Yeah, and that was like, even then we put him in B because we didn't know if he was going to be able to elevate even to this level
Mm.
Yeah.
of like, all right, can you be this like true number 1?
He's elevated
type
3
of guy?
levels since last year. Like
That's
last year he broke
crazy.
out and was like their best receiver, but
Mhm.
they still had DK on the outside. They still had Tyler Lockett, so Jason was mostly the slot receiver.
Yeah.
Now he's number 1, gets all the attention, is on the outside, has all the responsibility, all the pressure. Even better.
It's different.
He's that guy. Next thing we're going to do. Keep 3, cut 3 with wide receivers, but we're going to do it where you guys have to build a wide receiver lineup with a true X receiver, an outside guy, a slot receiver, and a number 2, a flanker receiver.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
do keep 3, cut 3, but keep in mind of roles.
Okay.
So first name up, Puka Nacua. Do you want to keep him?
I feel like we have to keep
We're-
Puka.
You want to keep him, but where do you want to put him?
Okay, so I feel like we could get a more dominant, just like true X receiver.
Yeah.
I like having Puka, especially having him do all of the things that he can do and be so versatile. So I would either put
Put
him
him at the 2.
either 2 or just have like a big slot with Puka.
I think
Yeah, I
he's
would
great.
definitely put him in the slot if I was Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's an elite slot, so put him at 2.
Yeah. Just, no way you're cutting Puka after the season he's been
Fuck
having.
no.
Exactly.
Quentin Johnston.
We're
Oh
cutting
yeah,
him.
we're cutting you.
No, you don't
We're-
believe in those first 2
Having
games?
we're
an
cutting
amazing
QJ,
season
yeah.
so far.
I'm sorry.
But
Shout out to you. Save your career. Not on my team.
Okay. Devontae Smith.
I think we're cutting him again too.
Yeah,
I think
He's
we
on the
can't
line.
find
You, if you kept him at the flanker, I'd understand. But you
yeah.
could also do better.
because
Yeah.
he is and if we have Puka in the slot and you have somebody that big, you have somebody who could block and do all that
It
stuff.
meshes well.
I feel better with Devonta at 2 because especially in terms of like number 2 receivers,
Yeah.
he is that. Like
Yeah.
you have Devontae Adams, you have T Higgins, you have Devontae Smith, and you can have your pick of your number 2 receiver.
What if you just get a bunch of superstars?
I think we cut him. I think we cut him.
You think there's two more superstars?
Potentially, yeah.
All right.
Potentially.
That's 1 cut. 2 cuts. George Pickens.
Okay. This is where I was kind of worried about between the two, and that's at that point I have no idea how to parse which one I'd rather have.
Do you think that after this we're gonna get 2 great names?
It's also roles. Like George Pickens is playing X right now. He's doing it very well.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
All right, we'll take George Pickens.
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
put him at the Z.
You put him as Z, you said?
Yeah, at number 2.
Okay. So you have George Pickens and Puka Nacua. All you have left is a wide receiver 1. You've kept 2, cut 2. Next name up, T. Higgins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to keep him or cut him? It's the last one.
We're cutting T. Higgins.
Damn.
I think. Yeah, we've had our run of like of receiver 1.5s. We've already made our pick.
Are you cashing in all your chips on having a great wide
yes, I
receiver
am.
one?
Do you believe in yourself?
Yes, I do.
To make a choice of picking somebody better than T. Higgins?
Yes,
I don't feel good. Not at all.
I feel fine.
I guess we're cutting him.
Cutting him. Just to show you I'm not cheating. What's that last name you see right there? Jamar Chase is the last receiver. Jamar Chase got it at number 1. You guys won. You did it right.
Is this the best possible lineup we could have made?
Low-key. I mean, Devontae Smith for George Pickens is a debate. Maybe
Yeah.
T. Higgins number 2. It's all a debate there.
Feel great about
But you got the slot and the X
Yeah.
receiver right.
Okay, we got okay.
And if I have Jamar and Puka on my team, we're winning games.
Who gives a
Who's
shit
guarding
who's next to
this?
him? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, who the fuck is guarding this, man? And
Yeah.
you got Pickens over there doing his thing.
Honestly, Pickens might be the one you want there because you have all that attention. Pickens attacking one-on-ones in the back. That might be perfect, actually.
We did it. Good
I
job.
fuck with this. I fuck with this.
Finally, a
All right.
victory.
That was great.
Left
I think
hand
this is the
dap?
best we could have done, possibly.
Left hand dap?
Yeah.
It's disrespectful.
Is it? Disrespectful.
Okay. Next thing we're going to do. I'm going to list a series of quarterbacks, and I want you guys to not talk until I say a QB better than Joe Burrow.
Ooh, I haven't seen him in a minute, but okay.
Yeah, so better than the reputation of Joe Burrow, then whatever you think he lands, don't say anything until I say a name better. First name, Dak Prescott.
Okay.
No consideration? No, that was real fast. Okay. Eli Manning. Okay, you look like you're mad at me for saying that. You're pissing me for suggesting such a thing. Fair enough. Okay. No Eli Manning love. This year's Matthew Stafford. Okay, holding out. Okay. Just imagine if Burrow had Sean McVay. Oh, it'd be different conversations. Okay, no talk. No consideration. Justin Herbert. We're getting close. We're getting close. Stop trying to mouth things. No talking. Just decide yes or no. No, we're not going to do it. Okay. That's obviously a close one. I can understand it. Phillip Rivers. Different era. Quarterbacks had to do more. No, okay. Ben Roethlisberger. Super Bowl champion. That's close. I think you can still argue for Joe Burrow. I think you can still consider him. Even though it doesn't have a ring, it's okay.
Nah, man, that's a lot of glaze on Joe Burrow. I'm sorry, that's a lot.
He said you gotta stop.
That's a lot. Like, shout out to Joe Burrow. He's had a couple years, but like Big Ben was consistent for so long. He still had like a lot of obviously high end talent. I'm gonna go with Big Ben.
Yeah, but wasn't he consistently nasty too? I don't know. Yeah, I thought we had a rule here, but never mind. I guess we just advocating for anybody.
Oh, nasty man wins.
Okay.
I forget he's a nasty man.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That had to be so confusing for audio listeners.
I know. That's why it's at the end. And that is everything. And that is the end of this episode. If people are still here, what should they comment?
I have no idea. Go pick.
Shout out to Matt Schaub, man.
Comment, shout out Matt Schaub. And I got a cat climbing on me.
Who's that white dude that you thought was Hispanic, or I thought it was Hispanic?
I don't even remember his name anymore. Navarre. I still think I'm probably saying it wrong. But yeah, Navarre.
You probably are.
Shout out all those goddamn quarterbacks. Let me know your favorite random quarterback from NFL history. Your favorite random ass quarterback nobody remembers. Comment that. And we'll see y'all next week.